we parted. I don't know what went wrong. I just know that I want your body here with me tonight. With me tonight. You know what I need, know just where to touch. Make me feel like I can't explain. Oh no, don't you leave, it's just a bit of fun. You know how to drive me insane. I know it shouldn't feel right, but baby, don't go. Just love me all night. Just love me all night. 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 All night. Tell me you want me, baby. Tell me I'm not alone. Tell me you wanna be with me tonight. With me tonight. With me tonight. You know what I need, know just where to touch. Make me feel like I can't explain. Oh no, don't you leave, it's just a bit of fun. You know how to drive me insane. I know it shouldn't feel right, but baby, don't go. Just love me all night. Just love me all night. 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 All night. It shouldn't feel right, but baby, don't go. Just love me all night. Just love me all night. 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 All night.
Don't need no thing. Ain't into bling. Just use enough. You fill me up. I don't care for diamond rings. I just crave the simple things, 'cause that's what I want. That's what I want. I don't need no fancy car. I'll take you just the way you are, 'cause that's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I want. Don't need no thing. Ain't into bling. Just use enough. You fill me up. I don't care for diamond rings. I just crave the simple things, 'cause that's what I want. That's what I want. I don't need no fancy car. I'll take you just the way you are, 'cause that's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I want.
I just crave the simple things, 'cause that's what I want, that's what I want. I don't need no fancy car, I'll take you just the way you are, 'cause that's what I want, that's what I want, 'cause that's what I want, that's what I want, 'cause that's what I want, that's what I want, 'cause that's what I want, that's what I want, that's what I want.
Don't you wanna tell me about the time that we felt free? Turn your eye on the halo that you give yourself daily. Give me a new ending, 'cause I'm running free tonight. Don't regret our story, wanna love and live my life. Always talking about where we'll be, gonna move out of the city, spending our time daydreaming, living our life like a movie. I'm the only one who can make me whole, pick me up, I'm the only one gonna ride this feeling and write a new beginning. I don't wanna pretend that everything I wanted was gone in the end, and I don't wanna pretend again, and I don't need to pretend I'm living in this moment, I'm living my best, 'cause I don't need to pretend. Don't live life in envy, shine a bright energy. With the waves I'm making, gotta make sure I'm happy. I'm the only one who can make me whole, pick me up, I'm the only one. I'm gonna ride this feeling and write a new beginning. And I don't wanna pretend that everything I wanted was gone in the end, and I don't wanna pretend again, and I don't need to pretend I'm living in this moment, I'm living my best, 'cause I don't need to pretend
Feel the thorns embrace. Death is in bloom. None will escape my grasp.
This will be quite the deadly spectacle. My home is in the cosmos, amongst my stars.
first day like a clown at birthday. Too late, gotta wait for the first day.
牛啊，这个球！
菜呢？
各位现场以及屏幕前的召唤师们，大家晚上好，我是小优，欢迎来到英雄联盟手游职业联赛 WRLA 常规赛颁奖仪式的现场。在常规赛期间，我们见证了许多优秀选手创造的惊艳成绩，他们凭借出色的实力脱颖而出，带领队伍破浪前行，为我们带来了很多精彩表现。那么接下来我们将公布英雄联盟手游职业联赛 WRLA 常规赛的击杀王、助攻王、FPX 赛区的 MVP、CN 赛区 MVP 4个奖项。Welcome to the Wild Rift League Asia Award ceremony of regular season. During the regular season, we witnessed the amazing result of many outstanding players who stood out with their outstanding strengths, led the team through the waves, and brought us many wonderful performances. Then next, we will announce the Wild Rift League Asia regular season game Kill King, Assist King, APEC Division MVP, CN Division MVP 4 awards. 首先，让我们将颁出常规赛的击杀王和助攻王。恭喜 J Team X1 以常规赛总击杀数134次的成绩获得常规赛击杀王。恭喜 TETAC 以常规赛总助攻数274次的成绩获得常规赛助攻王。有请2位选手登台。First, we will award the regular season Kill King and Assist King. Congratulations to J Team X1 for winning the regular season Kill King with 134 kills. Congratulations to TETAC for winning the regular season Assist King with 274 assists. Please welcome the 2 players to the stage. 首先欢迎2位选手，让我们来采访一下我们获得常规赛击杀王的 X1 的获奖感想。
大家好，我是来自 JT 的射手 X1。首先呢，在这里祝大家2024年新年快乐！很高兴，也很难以置信的拿到了这个击杀王这个奖项，也是呢没有辜负自己这么多年的努力，所以呢，在接下来的时间，我也会继续努力的。谢谢大家。
好的，感谢 X1 的获奖感言，再次恭喜。First of all, let's interview about Kill King about the award. So he said, "Hello everyone, I'm the Dolan X1 from J Team. First of all, I wish you all a happy New Year in 2024. I'm very happy and can't believe that I can get this award. I didn't live up to the efforts for many years, and I will continue to work hard in the next time." 好，那么接下来呢，让我们来采访一下获得助攻王的 TAC 有什么获奖感想。Next, let's interview Ed King. How do you feel about this award?
大家好，我是 T1 的辅助 TAC。首先感谢俱乐部没有因为我们失败而放弃我们吧。然后我也要感谢我的队友对我的无条件的信任。最后就感谢观众跟粉丝一直以来的支持，让我们很有动力。谢谢大家。
好的，谢谢 TAC。So he said, I'm very happy to receive this award. Thank you to the club for never giving up on me when I was at my worst, to my teammates for their unconditional trust, to the fans for always supporting us and making us more motivated to win games. 再次感谢两位选手。那么接下来让我们有请腾讯体育 LPL 生态总负责人孙正上台为两位选手进行颁奖。Thank you both. Now let's welcome Bradson to the stage to present awards to the two contestants. 恭喜 X1 获得我们的击杀王的奖项，非常沉甸甸的一份非常至高无上的荣誉。好的，恭喜 Tech 获得我们的助攻王。现在呢，请我们的获奖选手以及颁奖嘉宾共同合影留念。Please take the photo. 再次感谢我们的颁奖嘉宾，也再次恭喜两位选手获奖，请大家台下稍事休息，继续观礼，谢谢，有请。接下来我们要颁发的是 CN 赛区和 APEX 赛区的常规赛 MVP 奖项。首先恭喜 APEX 赛区 G2BKD 获得常规赛 MVP。Next up are the CN and APEC regular season MVP awards. First of all, congratulations to APEC Division G2BKD for winning the regular season MVP. 接下来我们要颁发的奖项是常规赛 CN 赛区的 MVP， 恭喜 TE 辉八，有请选手上台。The next award to be presented is the regular season CN Division MVP. Congratulations, TE 辉八. Please welcome the contestants onto the stage. 现在呢，让我们来采访一下辉八此刻有什么样的获奖感想。Let's talk to the CN MVP 辉八 about his feeling about winning the award.
Hello， 大家好，我是 T 的打野辉八。很高兴今天能在这个场合获得了 MVP 这个奖项。我要感谢俱乐部和粉丝们一直以来的对我们的支持，然后感谢大家一直以来对我们的关心和帮助吧，然后才能走到今天，谢谢大家。
好，非常感谢辉八的获奖感言。So he said, "I'm very happy to receive this award. Thank you to the club and fans for your support, attention, and help. Thank you very much." 再次恭喜辉八。那么接下来呢，就让我们有请腾讯体育 LPL 生态总负责人孙正上台为辉八颁奖。Now let's invite Bernd Sun to come on stage to present the awards to the contestants. 有请。有请我们的颁奖嘉宾和我们的获奖选手共同合影留念。Please take the photo. 好的，再次感谢我们的颁奖嘉宾，也再次恭喜辉八获奖，请大家台下稍事休息，继续观礼，谢谢。那么此时此刻，我们的英雄联盟手游职业联赛 WLA 常规赛的颁奖仪式到这里就全部结束了。再次恭喜所有获奖的选手们。稍后将要进行的是 EDG 对阵 FPX 的比赛，谁能锁定最后一个决赛席位，召唤师本，让我们把答案留给赛场。While the Rift League Asia regular season award ceremony has come to an end, once again, congratulations to the 4 players who won the awards. Later on, the EDG vs FPX match will take place, and who can secure the final spot in the finals? Summoners, let's give the answer to the arena.
First and foremost, congratulations to everyone that has been awarded due to their massive performance here in Season 2 of Wild Rift League Asia. Now, we transcend and proceed towards the last and most important match here in the DCN conference, as this will determine who is going to be joining Keep Best Gaming in the final stage here alongside the two APAC teams that we have, Cateroser Y and G2 Blacklist. And we're gonna be your shoutcasters still. My name is Kiyang, with me is Crazy Apple. We're psyched up for the series between FPX and Edward Gaming.
Yeah, definitely. These two teams are gonna be battling for the last spot for our finals, and I didn't expect it's gonna come down to the wire between these two teams, both Edward Gaming as well as Fun Plus Phoenix. These two organizations have been duking it out here in their playoffs, even in the whole season. And they've had two different stories, honestly, between the two of them. For EDG, it has been them having a rough start in the season and then really having that 10-game or 10-series win streak and having also what looked like almost a dominant playoffs for them. But they just lost yesterday in a devastating 4-0, and now they're going to be facing FPX, which, on the other hand, for FPX, have had, I would say, a middling Season 2 for them. They haven't really gotten a big high, but the playoffs lower bracket run for them has just been phenomenal so far. This could be a Cinderella run for FPX if they get this win over EDG.
Yeah, absolutely. They have all the momentum on their side right now. FPX basically has won 12 games here in the playoffs and only has dropped 5. That is massive in comparison towards the performance of Edward Gaming so far, in which recently they've got dominated by Keep Best Gaming. There are so many things that we can talk about during that series, but right now I think the teams have to be much more ready to face off their little brother. We have made this comparison ever since the beginning of the regular season of the Season 2, and FPX during the start has even 2-0 EDG before they got their 10-game win streak against the other teams combined with CN Conference and the APAC teams as well. This is the last match that we're going to be having as well on the playoffs to determine the placements as well soon, or at least the teams that are going to be performing or participating in the finals alongside with Keep Best Gaming, Cateroser Y, and G2 Blacklist before the additional round robin that is going to be commenced there.
Yeah. Definitely exciting stuff, as we were talking about as well. Just looking at the bracket so far, it is KBG who had that emphatic 4-0 against EDG yesterday. It just felt like they were on a whole different level compared to EDG. While for FPX, they've gone through the whole gauntlet of the lower bracket, eliminating Weibo Gaming, Trace Esports, and Thunder Talk to now face against EDG. EDG, the God Slayers who took down both Thunder Talk and Trace Esports during the regular season. This is the final test for FPX. Can they take down the God Slayers and become the God Slayers themselves?
I mean, they're basically won already. Having to take down Thunder Talk, having to take down Trace Esports, both in a 4-1 fashion as well. And are about to face their big brothers here. This is very reminiscent of last season as well, in which Keep Best Gaming were the ones who really grinded in the lower bracket after losing to Nova Esports in that 7-game series. And then look at them now, former champions from Wild Rift League Asia Season 1. FPX basically has the quote-unquote lower bracket buff just because of their incredible performance and the number of matches that they have had over the past few days or over the course of this week as well, going towards this match against Edward Gaming.
Yeah. Like how you mentioned, the lower bracket buff, right? It's one of those things that you always think about when it comes to these kinds of playoff brackets, tournament formats. You think about what's the benefit of being in the top, in the upper side, in the winner's bracket, and what's going to be in the benefit of the lower bracket. As you see on your screens right now, the lineup of FPX, Don128, Xingdao7, SkyFL, Kong, and Chow. These guys are gonna come in hot in this series, just having a really good last win against Thunder Talk, as you mentioned, right? They have had this huge improvement in the playoffs. Their game feels so clean, especially when they took down those teams. And now going against EDG, who did not get as good of a run in the upper bracket, having that 4-0 loss, as you see on your screens right now. These players played yesterday, and it kind of feels demoralizing, might feel even devastating for them. But I do hope we do see a bounce back EDG in this series, an EDG that had that 10-game win streak in the regular season.
we cannot deny or we cannot avoid comparing 0711 this time around alongside with Qingdao 7 as well. Both had their strengths and demonstration as well on how good they are in the jungle. But yesterday, we did see a little bit on the downside of 0711, especially after being, I don't know, just dominated. Just completely, utterly dominated by the Ton. And we have seen a different version of the Ton as well, especially with this current patch right now of patch 4.4D. Mid lane as well is going to be a little bit challenging, I believe, here for you, because SkyFL is just so good in the mid lane, and it is going to be similar as a matchup to Keepus Gaming because they're very mid-centric as well. Anra9 even oftentimes just the last pick for Keepus Gaming. Here are the stats as well that we do see a little bit closer on all of the stats. Honestly, EDG is a little bit ahead though in terms of first tower due to their innate aggressive playstyle, but we can never deny the fact that FPX on blue side, in which EDG yesterday has lost every single game in the entire series, has a 9-11 scoreline, dropping only 2 games so far here in this playoff.
And to remind our viewers as well, the stats that we're showing right now are only from the playoffs. This does not include the regular season, so it's kind of skewed in terms of the sample size that we have towards FPX, right? Because they played so many series in the lower bracket. But for EDG, so far they've only played 2. This is their 3rd series playing into our playoffs. And yeah, I agree. Blue side has not shown a lot of promise for EDG. I do hope we do see if they're gonna be the ones who are picking the sides here in this matchup. They might go red side sometimes, because yesterday it really felt bad whenever we saw that they played blue side and played the Corki and it didn't pan out for them. So a lot of things for EDG, right, to improve and to show that they deserve another chance to get a spot into our finals.
And this is their last chance as well. This is one of the reasons why we were a little bit confused and why they were very, very insistent of picking blue side in all of the games. To think that they have a 100% win rate so far in the playoffs on red side, especially during their match against Trace Esports. They dominated the series and they only dropped that one game, or like game number 1, but every single game after that was basically a one-sided beatdown. But they haven't tried that out against Keepus Gaming. Maybe they're trying to reserve something, maybe they're trying to experiment something. We don't know for sure, and we're just going to find it out right now here in this series as well. We look at the head-to-head between SkyFL and you. See definitely a very similar performance between these two teams. Both of these mid laners from FPX and EDG respectively are very talented. Sky is notorious for his Akali, can be quite torturous as well with his Gwen and the Vladimir. You oftentimes loves to carry out with the Vladimir and the Kassadin. They have very similar champion pool. It's up to them just making sure that they have the leverage against each other.
Exactly. And unfortunately for you, yesterday he kept getting the Corki. Wasn't sure where the decision came from, that it was his coaching or it was the player himself. But lately we have also seen you playing into that double marksman composition for EDG. So I do hope that they change it up. Maybe go back to, as you mentioned, right, some of the contested picks between the two of them, like Akali, like the Kassadin, some of these more assassin type of champions, some of these champions that have more agency when it comes to the early to mid game to make plays and to do and to affect the side lanes. That's something that I'm looking forward right now to you and both SkyFL, because if these two, especially for SkyFL, who just recently feels like his game just got a lot more cleaner, a lot more better. Both of these players, when they go head to head at the top of their game, it just feels like it's going to be an explosive matchup between the two.
Yeah, I want to just state this this fact. The best performance so far of EDG in the playoffs was against Trace Esports. The best performance of FPX was against Thundertalk and, well, against Trace Esports as well. SkyFL was able to secure 2, 3, 4 MVP counts during their last 2 series. Meanwhile, EDG, during their match against Trace Esports, you wasn't able to get any MVP, so maybe he has to really step up. Looking at the junglers, this is highly anticipated matchup as well. Qingdao 7 definitely has performed extravagantly during the past few series that they've had, both against Thundertalk, against Trace Esports, and even against Weibo Gaming during the first match that they've had for this playoffs. And 0711, after receiving a gruesome defeat against the Dawn this time, has to recover. I hope that his performance yesterday is not gonna be replicated in this matchup right now. Let's go to the stage first for the
Hello，
introduction.
各位现场以及屏幕前的召唤师们，大家晚上好，欢迎来到英雄联盟手游职业联赛 WILA 的比赛现场，我是小优。今天是CN赛区败者组决赛，一路过关斩将突出重围的 FPX 和 EDG 将迎来宿命对决，谁能主宰赛场，斩获最后一张决赛门票？让我们拭目以待。下面让我们有请 Edward Gaming 以及 FPX Phoenix。Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Wild Rift League Asia. I'm Peggy. Today is the CN Division Losers Bracket Finals. All the way through the outstanding Encycled FunPlus and EDG. There will be a fateful showdown. Who can dominate the field? Got the last ticket to the finals. Let's wait and see. Now let's welcome Edward Gaming and FunPlus Phoenix.
既然你们打不过 KPG， 那就我们去打。
不用麻烦你们了，我们会亲自去复仇的。
Very calm answer from Alone. And yeah, this is going to be an insane battle between the aggressive brothers here in the CN Conference. The big bro versus the little bro, but only one will survive and proceed to the final.
Yeah, big bro versus little bro. We'll see who will be getting that last spot. And I can't just help to notice that FPX mentioned KBG in that talk between the two of them, the standoff, and I'm wondering what they were saying. Because yeah, it was a complete and dominant game yesterday. A couple of games from KBG. One thing I also want to mention here in terms of the jungle matchup that we were heading into us in terms of the head-to-head. Just looking at some of the champions that have been played by both of these junglers, especially for the side of FPX for Xingdao 7, he has played a lot of early game junglers, especially the Lee Sin. He has played a lot in their series against Thunderhawk, as well as I've seen a couple of Kha'Zix games as well in Trace Esports. So a jungler that deals a lot of damage in the early game can affect early to mid game rotation for both teams. Is something that Xingdao 7 has really perfected now to help FPX. Well, on the other hand, 0711 feels like he has been put towards the Hecarim corner a lot of the times and have been put on more supportive tank junglers lately for EDG. And that could be something we're looking at here in terms of the matchup, the champion preference between both of these players. We know 07M can play other champions. He has shown that he can do so, but in terms of what he has played lately, it has really been more of a supportive role. And from yesterday's performance against the Dawn, and the Dawn just bustling his way in every objective, getting the steals, it's gonna be a bit different test right now for 0711.
I mean, I even made a highlight video of how bossy and how insane the Dawn was in getting that last elemental dragon against 0711. Hecarim versus Shen, and the Shen won in the smite fight twice through the Baron and through the dragon as well. It's just massive outplay coming in from the Dawn, and I think Hecarim shouldn't be the priority this time around for 0711, or if he's still going for the Hecarim, I think he has to really prep up for the counter plays here of Xingdao 7, because he has played out, or Xingdao 7 has played against the Hecarim already twice just with the series against Thunderhawk. Used the Camille, used the Lee Sin, and both of the games as well.
Yeah. Now, for her, just having the players prep right now and waiting to get into the draft. We were talking about earlier which side these teams would be choosing, and I don't know, Ging, what do you think? Would you see EDG on blue side again for this game one?
I think they have to really try out red side this time around. It's going to be very difficult though, especially because FPX is just so strong on blue side. If they go blue side, then it can pan out well towards them as well. It would depend on how they would get their champions going, how they would execute their playstyle, how the draft is going to be, and how they would actually target Xingdao 7 is the biggest question. It looks like they're going for blue side again.
Yeah, it's gonna be blue side again, and I love how you pointed out how EDG will be trying to target Xingdao 7 because of the champion picks that he has picked out, because of what we've talked about earlier. He is gonna be the main early game catalyst for FPX. So I feel like there should be a bit more attention right now on the side of EDG towards Qingdao 7, but so far, it feels like more standard bans coming out for them. Both the Zoe, Ornn, and the Cassin being the last ban for EDG shows a lot more importance towards Sky FL.
There's something interesting about FPX, right? I just want to point this out. They're very, very comfortable in leaving the Camille open, which is very uncharacteristic for other teams. They're more inclined to ban out something like an Ornn or this Kha'Zix away from 0711. So now, the impact is EDG has to decide, since they do have first pick priority, pick up the Hecarim or get the Camille. Looks like they're still inclined on picking the Hecarim, so this opens up the Camille for FPX, possibly with the Galio as well.
Yeah, it's one of other junglers that has impact in the early game. If you put this in the hands of Qingdao 7, you can have these gank paths before you hit level 5. But once you hit level 5 and after the first set of objectives, after the first Drake, after the first Herald, we've seen a lot of Camille's just suddenly jump into a side lane, help out the Baron laner, and get a kill on the side lane, producing a lot of pressure on that side of the map. So FPX having that, I do expect maybe a Fiora pick for them as for their Baron laner.
Yeah, Fiora, Aatrox, both can go well here for Dawn128. He is very stable in the Baron lane. Jax as well has been one of his most notorious picks too. There's a lot of choices for this Baron laner of FPX. Let's see though, because the Corki is again going to be the focus here of you. Something that has been a little bit challenging, and I get to you, Crazy Apple. I'm also nervous. FPX, all our predictions so far has been on point. Aatrox gonna be locked in for Dawn128. This is heavy composition being built up by FPX.
I'm glad that you pointed out my nervousness here, Giyang, because yesterday we casted EDG versus KBG, and these are the same 3 picks that they picked in Game 4. It's Hecarim, into the Renekton, and the Corki, and it didn't pan out well for them. Honestly, I don't have the specific 3 champions are not what's wrong. It's how EDG play those champions. I feel like what was lacking from yesterday. So maybe there was something that they improve on getting into this series. Maybe it's something that they worked on whole night against FPX. But moving on from those couple of picks, we are seeing the last couple of bans between the two teams. Zeri and Sivir being taken away by FPX. Good couple of champions being taken away, because those are also the 2 champions that EDG were picking into when they have the Corki in the hands of you.
Gragas as well gonna be picked up here since the Galio has been removed. This is gonna be very strong. Looks like it's going to be the game 1.
Deja vu.
Yeah, game 1. Okay, since the Alistar is picked up, let's make it game 2-ish.
Yeah, a bit of a hybrid.
Yeah, a hybrid. A bit of a change, but basically the same lineup that EDG has used against Keepas Gaming. And again, it just amplifies our nervousness right now. Zaya rather is gonna be here for Kong as well, something that he has used to almost perfection during their previous series and matches as well. This does prove a lot of points here for both of these teams. Approval ratings are on the side of FPX as well, and I cannot agree even more. This team has been able to just prove how strong they are, and they keep on improving as well.
I feel like the couple of this approval rating at the start might have been in favor of EDG, but when they saw the first 3 lock-ins of EDG, it went slightly in favor of FPX, because I am feeling nervous for EDG. I want to see them bounce back from yesterday's loss. I want to see them show us what the regular season performance, how strong they were, how dominant they were in those series, and that was a lot of aggression coming from them and a lot of comfort as well. This might be a comfortable composition for them, a comfortable team that they don't want to go against FPX, especially in game 1. So a lot of eyes really gonna be here on EDG to prove that they're able to clean up some of the games that they played yesterday.
They have to clean everything up. It's going to be tough. FPX is no joke. They have proved how strong they are, aggressively and patiently as well. And right now, they're going to be testing it out against their big brother, EDG, in this game number 1.
Yeah, game number 1. For the last spot in our finals, this would be the deciding momentum coming into this series. We'll see if EDG will able to grab that game 1 or FPX carry on the momentum that they had so far in the lower bracket, able to snag that first win. So far, looking at the lineups, it's just really a lot of nervousness for EDG. But let's go back to the side for FPX. I do like what you mentioned earlier, the Aatrox being picked on that Baron lane, also a good champion to pair up with the Camille as we head towards that mid game. But for the early game so far, it's gonna be very even between these teams. There's not gonna be, I feel like there's not gonna be a lot of action unless the junglers go and gank some of these lanes.
Yeah, I think the roles of these junglers are going to be so important. FPX usually stays true to their form in terms of staying aggressive in the bottom lane. They have demonstrated it against Thundertalk, against Race Esports. They dominated basically every single laning phase that there has been in the entire series of both of the matches. SkyFL being very aggressive here against Alone, forcing him to play a little bit more passively. Not really a good sign here for Alone because he did match up against Andra9 yesterday and did prove to kind of win the laning phase. But at this start, Vladimir winning is kind of not good for EDG.
But that's still, in a way, you can also look at it as in SkyFL using one summoner already, but it's actually him, as you mentioned, still winning the lane so far with the harass. For the mid lane right now, between the Tristana and the Vladimir, if you can just get as much gold as they can, just get those last hits in to get a bit more of gold infusion to them, it doesn't really matter much unless there's an early gank coming from the jungler. So they do see the Tristana recalling early because he does feel that threat. Camille can get into the mid lane in very awkward angles just because of her ability to dash around. So a bit of safety is good right now for the side of EDG. They need to at least get to an even game state when you get to these early to mid game fights.
Yeah, I think scaling is a little bit on FPX's side. Yes, Hecarim can be a little troubling because of the engage, plus the Nautilus as well adds a little bit more of that suppression in a single target one. But FPX possesses that as well. Late game scaling is present on 3 champions too. Add in the Camille, that makes 4. And yeah, EDG has to really step up, at least in the early game. Even if they have double ADCs here, which can deal a lot of damage, so much backline access is present here at the side of FPX. And just one small misstep can be devastating for EDG.
Yeah, and that's what's deceptive with the composition for EDG, right? You expect they're the ones who are stronger in the late game because they have 2 marksmen. But honestly, the strength of this composition is going to be in the mid game. The usage of the package as well as the tower destruction with the explosive shot coming from this Asana are the key things here for the side of EDG. The key abilities that they should leverage on. They also have some good dive. They have the Hecarim, they have the Nautilus, they have the Renekton. So if ever they are able to catch FPX on a side lane, they might be able to jump in and immediately destroy a structure. So that's what we're looking for in this composition right now for EDG. Yeah. How well are they going to be able to get that early to mid game transition so that they could extend a lead enough against the late game composition that FPX has?
Yeah, side lane is going to be very important. However, I think it's going to be very difficult as well. FPX, this time in the top lane, Donovan28 proving that he can just stand his ground against 0711. And right now, the cavalry is here, trying to retaliate, trying to help out. Buster Shot's going to be used to push back SkyFL, but it's not going to stop him from assaulting Ignite as the last hurrah there. Is kind of funny to see. No kills going to be coming through. And again, just going back to my point, because you mentioned earlier that side lane control has to be important. Kills should go in towards EDG. However, FPX has proven for 2 CDCs now, totaling like 10 games, that they are just very comfortable and ungankable basically in the side lane.
Yeah, and that's going to be the challenge, right, for EDG, how they're going to prove their King 7 getting caught out here.
Next ultimatum as a response, trying to isolate Alone, trying to escape as well. I don't think this is going to be possible this time around though, as Alone does pick up the first blood, which is good. Kong trying to answer back. Fortunately, Lanky did not connect that hook. He's just going to be walking away.
Yeah, so far, first blood going to the side of EDG, definitely a good thing for them. Also getting the jungler of FPX, putting them a bit out of that tempo as we head into the 5-minute mark with it's gonna be these objective blood actually.
Featherstorm, double knock up with the depth charge. Kong might actually be in the bad spot this time around, alone with a flash,
Whoa,
dodging
one more?
the blade caller, and that should be the kill by Chow instead. As Langway picks that up, at least a trade here for EDG much better than not getting anything. But in the bottom lane, Donovan 8 escaping the gank there. 0-7-11 and Xiao Jiang will be fine, and he has avoided 2-3 ganks in total now.
Yeah, he avoided the gank. Also, the jungler of EDG showing on the bot side. FPX immediately answering with getting the Herald. That's a good answer for them. Package is still on you. I actually just used it in the mid lane. So this will just be a handshake between two objectives. Dragon going to the side of EDG while Herald going to the side of FPX.
The 7's gonna be fine here. Chow is there to back him up. And yeah, trade of objectives should be great here for EDG in the long run because they can force out the soul point here.
Yeah, going to this replay right here. There's the re-engage coming here from EDG. Kong just getting away here with a sliver of health, just almost being killed there by Alone, but unfortunately he wasn't able to finish the kill. They didn't get the gold, and Chow was the one who also got the gold on the side of FPX. So in the end there, you can say Alone is, yeah, as you can see, the gold slightly ahead. He did get the first blood earlier, did fall, but both supports were the ones who got the kills on their marksman.
Yeah, it was an interesting clash in the top lane. It could have been a great outplay coming in from Alone. However, yeah, the supports does deal damage as well.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Definitely. The supports, he called that kill secure, not kill steal for the supports. But yeah, going back into this game right now.
That leash.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I like that. I like that. It's like it's a leash for the supports. But going back here, right now it's still very even between the two teams. Not a huge lead for anyone, which is boding a bit better for the side of FPX. EDG needs to push the tempo a bit more. Language is standing here like a ward right now. Look at Chow, goes in.
Yeah, actually, the trap is successful. Chow was baited to kind of engage there. Did use the body slam to go out. Rift Herald's gonna be used here into the mid lane. They're trying to take this turret down. I don't think he's gonna be successful though. Cast to be used. Isolate them. Hexagon to beat him onto the knot on the step charge after their spawn. That's not they fully commit. EDG this time around though will regret even facing FPX. Will lose one. FPX cannot push mid.
Yeah, FPX will be surely getting the first tier turret here in the mid lane. Just not sure if they'll be the ones who are gonna get this first. Tristana still pushing the top side, but no. It's gonna be Sky FL securing the first turret of the game here for FX. Also getting a lot of the gold there in the mid lane. Definitely this Vladimir almost 1,000 gold lead against his counterpart, which is the Corki. This guy, this Vladimir will have his build accelerated. It's not something that EDG would want because we all know how strong a Vladimir gets when he gets his his items.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if the Tristana can deal 10 million damage per second and the Corki as well. If the Vladimir gets close, he can just burst you out both simultaneously.
Yeah. Definitely gonna be a lot of damage coming in from FPX later on. It's something that EDG should really think about at this point. We've seen some good plays coming in from EDG already, but what do they need to do here? How are they gonna be able to catch FPX out? They haven't taken the turrets yet, so they're not gonna be able to string traps. It's actually a jungle.
Isolation, cast gonna be used. Kong as well, just following up, laying the feathers.
Whoa!
Predators the outplay by Xiao Jiang. 2 versus 1 and just walks away casually.
Yeah, smooth moves. The finesse coming there from Xiao Zhang. He saw the Xayah getting a bit too close, immediately bursting it down, getting a clean 1-for-0 in a 2v1. Right now, EDG having a bit more members on the map. Was trying to maybe look at a possible tower dive the bot side, but we're looking at the replay right here. It's just really Xiao Zhang having the presence of mind to be able to get Kong. Unfortunate placement of the barrel as well, giving a bit of damage already on the Xayah. Chow kind of grieving his ADC there, but you can't really fault him because they were trying to get a trap. They're trying to get a pick on the top side. Unfortunately, it went in the favor of Xiao Zhang.
Yeah, it was unfortunately unfortunate mistake coming in from Kong. Using the Featherstorm early, and that kind of gave the opportunity for Xiao Jiang to actually punish, using the flash and the stun to lock him down and take him out. Now FPX has to be really careful this time around against this Renekton. The Blade of the Ruin King has been picked up already, slowly but surely. The double ADCs are scaling up as well. 2 items already picked up here for you, and it is a great indication that the scaling is still online in favor of EDG. Now, team fights though are going to be a little bit more complicated because grouping up FPX does have massive AoE damage.
Yeah, they do have massive AoE damage. The package is up right now on Yo. This means that FPX would need to respect this. They won't be starting the objective anytime soon as the Corki still has this big skill. I don't think they're going to see a fight until the package expires. So far this Dragon Dance is really just going to be FPX trying to pull EDG here. EDG knows as well. So they're also trying to create this dance of shoving in the mid lane, shoving in the bot side. It's going to be a big fight here, Giang. It's the Infernal Drake. If EDG is able to get this, they do have pressure in Dragon Soul. While if FPX is able to get this, they will have a more comfortable time scaling into the late game.
Yeah, it's taking a little bit more time. Both teams are respecting each other, especially with the vision that they have provided. EDG, Langry made a great move in placing a ward in the brush inside the Dragon Pit. That's why they have the information and they can take their time patiently waiting for FPX to actually commit. The time is running out. 0711 is in position. Kong as well trying to get a good access here towards the 3 members of EDG on the bottom side. Like they're starting the Dragon as well.
Reset
coming through. Langry just in the area. 0711 waiting patiently. Tinko 7 a little bit too forward. SkyFL just gonna be there. Langry committing. The cast gonna be there. Hector gonna meet them onto the Hector as right now. EDG is in prime position. The Aatrox as well is a little bit isolated here in this area. Xiaojang a little bit low. Tinko 7 goes in, gets taken down. The as well is gonna be betrayed. Langry though getting obliterated as you pick both of them up. And FPX this time around are gonna be destroyed. And EDG reigns on this fight.
Yeah, EDG winning on the fight against FPX. They will be able to secure the second Dragon of the game for them, while Alone is just here destroying turrets. And I feel like FPX was caught out right there in the Dragon fight when Alone kept shoving the bot side of the map. FPX had a bit of hesitation of where their members were gonna go, and when Alone was also flanking from the back as we head into this replay right here, FPX started to commit on this Dragon when they got at about 4,000 HP, and Langry goes in along with BO7 and X-Down in multiple angles, and Don128, his attention was brought to the side. He wasn't able to throw his damage along with the team, and he was also exhausted as well when he got caught by Alone right there. So in terms of that fight, it was EDG able to separate the members of FPX. Their damage wasn't all in one area, and EDG was able to capitalize on that, securing themselves the second Dragon of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. The best way to win against a team fighting based composition is divide and conquer, and EDG divided them and conquered them as well. Now they have a 4,000 gold lead. Langry though is a little bit isolated here from the rest of the team. He is going to be committed. Tries to be taken down. The Meteor Engine is actually doing a lot of damage here for this fight. Don128 is a little bit scattered. Unable to get anyone from this fight. 0711 able to exit out. SkyFL, unfortunately, unable to close the distance with his token of enchant. He will not get anything from this fight.
Unfortunately, that he hit a wall right there. His rockets wasn't able to get some damage on the Hector. I think he was trying to get a bit more chip damage. Alone though is a bit, just trying to clear the wave right here. And like he was thinking about it, but he doesn't have enough damage to immediately take down the climber at the top side. Right now, we're talking about how EDG needs to have a firm control over the mid game against FPX, and with the win on the second Drake for them, they have now extended this Goldie to about 5,000. It's not insurmountable yet for FPX. Their late game composition can certainly scale and get the better of EDG if this game does get a bit longer, but this is the position that EDG wants to be at this point of the game. With their lineup, their mid game is really ramping up for them.
Siege damage as well is much more scary on the side of Edward Gaming compared to FPX. And yeah, raw stats dictates that in terms of gold that EDG is still not really too far ahead against FPX. But if you add in the 2 Dragon stacks that they have, it is actually so scary. Right now, they are posing for a Baron that they are very, very capable of doing, since they do have a double ADC as well. I think the Xiaojang is in the bottom lane trying to split push, adding more pressure towards FPX as well, and no one's answering just yet. It has to be BO7, not with the best here, because FPX might just lose the Baron. EDG might just go with the isolation here. The bait is gonna be there.
Alone's here.
Is gonna be used. Still able to flash out. Nobody is getting killed just yet. Buster shot gonna be invested there by Alone. Hook shot as well. Try and close in the distance. The slow's gonna be there. Body slam the cast as well. Trying to isolate Alone. Still able to survive for so long. And able to get Kong as well. Able to get the kill though. Donovan to 8 is trying to recover FPX's position right now. BO7 though is about to be taken down by 0711. The red buff just gonna be taking him out. Donovan to 8 isolated from the team. 3 people are manning him down. SkyFL trying to join him, trying to isolate the members here of EDG. Unable to get the damage done. Still is trying to clutch this out and will just get taken out. A triple kill by 0711 on the back. And that's gonna be the ace as well by EDG. Then FPX, they're handed over a disastrous result.
Yeah, great reaction right there coming in from EDG. Instead of focusing the objective, seeing that there was 2 people for FPX on the bot side, instead of coin flipping that Baron, they went and helped their ally. They went and helped their teammate, and they got so many kills. A lot of advantages on the map right now. Only the Zaya's left alive. She won't be able to contest this Baron as it's already halfway down. Kong will try though. We'll see if he's able to do anything here as he gets to the pit.
I don't think this is going to be a good idea, but the Thunderstorm is going to be using those 7s, going to be in the area as well, trying to get into the pit. Blade Caller, not getting anything. The steal is not going to come through as well. The Buster Shot puts him back in the stasis as well to add up insult to injury, as it is just, again, an unsuccessful attempt.
Unsuccessful steal from FPX and a successful secure coming in from EDG. This is a very different EDG
Plus 2 kills
that we saw yesterday. Yes, and 2 kills as well. They have so much advantage on the map right now. 10k gold lead, and they're looking to siege the mid lane.
Flash, status as well by the Aatrox. Langry is going to be the first target. The isolation is going to be there through the cast. Alone taking too much. The body slam as well. Unable to get the kill. The Ignite though will take him down. Donovan is trying to fall back.
What a
but
flam.
it's not going to be allowed here by 0711. Also the chance as well going to be invested here on the SkyFL and unable to escape anymore. And looks like we have a fast game here. EDG is going for a sprint. Kong trying to defend. EDG will let him be.
Yeah. So far, EDG still trying to get more objectives down, more turrets down. There's still 2 members of FPX here to defend, but seems like it's inevitable for EDG to get this win. We're just waiting for EDG to be able to take down the Nexus.
And the taking
oh my God,
of EDG is massive indeed. Kong nearly got destroyed there in an instant, but instantaneously as well, EDG will just march onto the Nexus and take game number 1.
Welcome back, EDG. They took back Game 1 against FPX in this best of 7 series. It felt I was nervous in a lot of situations there for EDG, especially that Baron fight where the Baron was 50-50. It could have gone to anyone because both jugglers had smite, but 0711 securing that objective with a smite of his own must feel so great for him.
Yeah.
When just thinking about what happened yesterday. And honestly, for this game, we usually talk about in a lot of games, a lot of matches, how important second Drake is because it's the only big objective in the map, and a lot of games are decided on that second Drake because of how cleanly or how badly it would go towards or against you. And we just saw right there that exact scenario happening. FPX lost very badly in that fight in the second Drake, and EDG was just able to capitalize and snowball off of that.
Let's just say what it is. It was a one-sided beatdown that EDG delivered towards FPX. But don't quote me on this. Maybe, just maybe, 5 times the charm here for EDG. Finally, the blue side Corki composition, Hecarim as well for 0711 is now successful after receiving 4 consecutive losses against Keep Us Gaming. This time, it paved the win for them here in this game number 1 against FPX. And it has been a slow start, but a very exponential gain after the team fights did commence. And it was just an incredible performance overall by Edward Gaming.
We called it, right? We were talking about what is the peak of the damage, what is the peak of the composition for EDG, and that is the mid game. We were talking about how if It's deceptive. It's double marksman. You always think if you have double marksman, the best point in time for you to take the battle against the enemy is the late game. But for EDG's composition specifically, because they had the Corki and the Tristana, it was really the mid game for them because they also had the Hecarim and the Renekton who would also get their stride in both the early to mid game fights, and they were able to just force that down on FPX. Unfortunately for FPX, they weren't able to get the scaling on both their Vladimir and the Xayah. They didn't have enough time with how EDG just forced the fight on them. Honestly, this game for FPX, if they go back to it, there's just some small things that if it went right for them, they could have surely gotten this game for themselves.
Langui getting the MVP is well deserved as well. I kind of thought that maybe 0711 will get the MVP because he is kind of deserving of it as well, but Langui did make really good plays to set up the team fight for Edward Gaming as well. And let's see how FPX this time around is going to be able to, or attempt to recover the series for themselves, or try to tie up the score, because now they have the side selection priority. Maybe they'll pick blue side, but let's see. That's just game number 1. We'll go in a short break for game number 2.
I will not be restrained. My potential is limitless.
Feel the thorns embrace. Death is in bloom.
FPX this time has received a one-sided beatdown by Edward Gaming, and it was a great demonstration by EDG as well in being able to finally secure a win with their composition on blue side. Looks like persistency is key to success as well towards EDG. Let's see if FPX this time will take blue side here, in which they do have 9 wins over their 11 games.
Yeah,
Ooh,
we'll see.
no.
As you mentioned, it's gonna still be blue side here for EDG. So we usually say when we see teams having the same side, if it ain't broken, don't have to fix it. But for EDG, I guess they don't think that way. They're just gonna, as you mentioned, persistency, and you could also say consistency in their compositions. I am kind of expecting them to play the same thing as we saw earlier. The Corki and the Tristana getting the win against FPX in game 1. But here in game 2, it's going to be FPX choosing the red side. They might be trying to think of more counter picks against EDG, because that's the tendency if you're going to this red side.
Yeah, I mean, FPX, being the loser of game number 1, should have had the side selection priority. But looks like they want to win with the same draft as well against Edward Gaming. And I don't think EDG has any problems with it as well. We can expect the same exact composition unless they would try to take one champion down here on either side.
So far though, it's the same draft. It's still Hecarim, Renekton, and Corki for 3 picks for the side of EDG. While for FPX, it's still the Camille, the Vladimir, and the Aatrox. I guess we can talk about some of the points that we talked about in game 1 draft and what didn't work out for FPX. And we didn't see any of that side lane pressure coming from both the Camille and the Aatrox. So maybe something that FPX will look into as they head into this game 2. But as you reacted to, the Nautilus being taken away by the FPX means EDG has to change their composition by a little.
And they take the Zeri instead as well, since it was opened up by FPX in exchange for the ban on the Nautilus. And they will take the Alistar as well, a relatively good support as well for Langui. And take note that during in season number 1, Langui had the best success on the Alistar for EDG. It actually allowed them to be able to qualify for the playoffs during last season because of his performance. Was able to help the team be able to help EDG secure that upper bracket semi-finals spot, in which they did really try to grind through the ranks. Unfortunately, wasn't enough for them to win the entire playoffs or the finals qualifier. But here today, he will use his past favorite support.
Yeah, Alistar, I do like it being alongside a Zeri. It provides a lot of protection for the team, a huge tank as well. Whenever he pops his ultimate, that's amount of time where the cow seems unkillable. While for the other side, we do see FPX taking away, not picking the Xayah, instead opting to go for the Lucian. So a bit of a difference right there. It's not going to be the late game crit Xayah that we usually see dominating the late game, able to have her own set of peel on her ultimate. It's going to be the Lucian. So more mid game, early game focus, a lot of strength in the laning phase for this Lucian against the bot lane of EDG. So we'll see if that adjustment is enough for FPX, because going back, we do see a lot of the game swinging when it comes to the second Drake fights. And when you see the second Drake, that's about the 9.5 minute, almost a 10-minute mark. That's when you get up to 2 completed items on some of these, on some of the carries. And for Lucian, he does have a strong 2-item combo. So we'll see if that's going to be enough to win or get that bit of strength to win these fights against EDG.
Yeah, laning phase this time around is going to be much more effective for FPX for sure. We have seen Don128 being able to stand his ground in the top lane a while ago, even in game number 1. The bottom lane was a little bit more stable for EDG in game number 1 as well, because they did have the Corki for the wave clear. But this time with the Zeri, it can be a little bit more troubling. Plus, this time they would it would be a bit of a change for EDG as well, because usually it is alone going in the mid lane with the Tristana, since they do have the Corki Zeri, so it might be different this time around for game.
Yeah, we'll see. We weren't really able to see where the players are going in the map. We immediately went towards a pause. We're currently checking the cause of the pause right now between the two teams, but I feel like this is the first pause in a long time, or at least in the last couple of series that we've casted together, Giyang. And this allows us to talk more about the teams and to talk more about the compositions. Honestly, we talked a lot about the composition already of EDG since we've seen it yesterday up to today. But for the side of FPX here, I just want to get into the as you mentioned, right, the strengths of the composition, where they're gonna go, especially from the early to the mid game. We're gonna see this Lucian. I hope this Lucian really pops off, because if the Lucian gets enough of that lead, he's just gonna be able to just pop even the Renekton, right? So Renekton's gonna have a hard time whenever he sees the Lucian because of the amount of damage he's gonna be able to deal if he does get ahead. So that could be a dangerous proposition for EDG if they allow this Lucian to really get his items early on.
Okay, given the time that we are getting right now because of the pause, I was able to roll back the live stream as well, and it was the Corki actually into the mid lane. So our initial thoughts would remain the same. Laning phase can be difficult for EDG because of the lack of damage of the Zeri in the early game, and that should provide the Lucian some ground to work with in the laning phase, maybe through the pokes, through the Gragas as well. That is going to be helping him out. Maybe FPX can pressure down for plates, or have Fryo in the lane and help out BO7 trying to secure some camps here against 0711.
What's dangerous for Alone in the bot side is if Langui decides to rotate to the mid lane at about when he hits about the level 2 or level 3 mark. He's gonna be left alone the bot side, and looking at where the junglers are starting. Oh, honestly, I saw Camille earlier at the red side. Now he's starting on the blue side of the map, so no early engage, but bot side though.
Yeah, Alone is getting bullied. Kong though did receive a bit of the damage as well, so he is being affected a little bit here by Alone still, despite the ones that we talked about earlier. Honey Fruit to help Alone regain some of his health back, was able to dodge that damage as well from Kong. A good push back for Langui, just for the memes, I guess.
He got emoted. He's like, nah, I'm not having him. They're gonna push you away. But honestly, what was the advantage that FPX got to the bot side was the minion advantage. We were able to take down the backline minions, giving them that early level 2. That's where we saw EDG pull back and giving that respect toward FPX.
Let's see, a 70% win rate by SkyFL. He did lose a while ago, so it was a bit better in terms of win percentages prior towards the series as well. Let's see if he's gonna be able to recover or increase his win rate on the Vladimir. Kong forced to flash away. Wow, the aggressiveness of 0711 is top notch right now. BO7 though is not having a good time. The flash in by Yu can actually secure the skill, and first blood again by Edward Gaming.
Yeah, EDG just having full control over the map right now. 0711 got the comms from his bot lane in EDG. They're getting the Scuttle Crab, so he's gonna challenge it. The jungler for FPX wasn't on the bot side of the map, so they immediately sent members to check the Scuttle on the top side of the map. No, actually it was Xiao Zhang already starting it now. As soon as BO7 went in, he immediately got jumped on by both Yu and Xiao Zhang. We don't really see these kinds of fights early on because we don't see them fighting over Scuttle Crabs.
Scuttle Crab in exchange for a kill. Maybe if it was a Baron or a Dragon, it would have been better. But yeah, not the best objective right now. And we have seen even just the other day, right, a red buff being an objective as well, and was the catalyst of the conclusion of a series just because of that fight. This might not be the best start for FPX, and see if they're going to be still able to recover this, because BO7, that was not characteristic of him to do those kinds of things.
You also just missing a cannon minion, gotta hurt, gotta feel bad. But he did get the first blood gold, as you mentioned, right? Small fight in the top side leading to a huge advantage, honestly, because that puts BO7 down. That puts the Lucian flashless in the bot side, so he has to play a bit more defensively, has to respect the Hecarim as he comes in, because do remember as well, that fight happened before any of these members were level 5, so no ultimates were expended when that happened. But EDG actually giving a lot of space here, so I think BO7 went for a bit of a visit here in the bot side, alone in Langui, just giving that space to not allow FPX to get any kills on the bot side. But FPX though almost getting 2 turret plates as well.
Yeah, I was looking at the cannon and the ranged minion. Unfortunately, they did change their target. Yeah, that was unfortunate for him. He was waiting.
Yeah,
He was rooting for the minion. But yeah.
Yeah, it feels bad, right? When you miss a cannon, it just has so much work. At least you get some consolation. But in the end, yeah, it's those things. Sometimes you find it difficult to get the item breakpoint that you want, especially on your backs. But as we hit the 4-minute mark, we do see the couple of the backs as well from the Lucian and the Gragas going to the top side. So the lane swap priority right now for FPX is gonna be the top side of the map. It means that they want to pressure this Rift Herald as soon as it spawns into the map. While for EDG, they have kept their bot lane in the bot side. So we do expect for EDG to prioritize getting this dragon, while it's going to be the Herald for FPX.
Dominus by Xiaojiang just to clear out the wave as well.
Oh, dive?
Don 1-8 this time is, gonna be dive here by the members of EDG and has no way to escape. Did invest a flash, but unable to get away from harm's way. And that's again a second kill for EDG. Great setup as well for this dragon.
Yeah, Xiaojiang just having the presence of mind. Pop Dominus, get the wave clear. If you have the wave clear, there's a lower chance for you getting dove. But actually, FPX wants to contest the dragon right now.
Yeah, this is a change that they're making right now. Not yet sure though if it's gonna be worth it, because EDG does have gold lead here in this game. Kong coming in quite confidently, forcing a flash here of you, and was able to zone everyone away as well. The rest of FPX leaving BO7 here onto the dragon and is trying to distract EDG as well away from the Herald.
This feels topsy-turvy right now, Giyang. We usually see a team that's ahead in gold and the early game pressure to be able to get an objective that they want, but it's FPX right now challenging EDG, and that is because the strength of the champions that they have, and EDG is now getting caught out here.
Yeah, Langui is gonna be flashing away. BO7 taking some damage from alone. The Herald hasn't been taken just yet, but FPX is gonna be happy with that because they have taken the dragon already, and even if they don't get the Rift Herald, it's okay because they have gotten an objective already. And EDG this time is on the receiving end of a bit of pressure. Luckily for them, they did secure a bit of gold lead, so they kind of have this leeway already.
It's the difference in the AD carry pick, right? For EDG. Earlier we saw Tristana and a Corki. Tristana does have a bit more strength in the early game. She does have her explosive and buster shot that deals a lot of burst damage. While right now for EDG, they have a Zeri who's a lot weaker in the early game, really needs her items to hit her stride from the mid to late game portion. So FPX is really taking full advantage of that weakness right now for EDG. EDG giving a lot of respect, but this Herald is going low and they're going to challenge.
Yeah, SkyFL actually is a little too low already. Had to flash away, and this time it's going to be an opportunity by EDG to take Camille down. And the Herald as well. It's a disastrous start here for FunPlus Phoenix this time around. 0-7-11 infiltrating the tower, taking the Lucian down. It's all alone. Don 1-8. Trying to get something here, but unable to get anything. And yeah, FPX did try to get the Rift Herald, but they got nothing, and EDG got everything.
They took too long to get the Herald. It's that plain and simple. For FPX, they stood too long in that projectile trying to bait out EDG, and EDG was just staring them in the face and laughing at the same time. EDG's members went back one by one to get their items. So you saw the Zeri clear the bot side, get some gold. We saw the Renekton go back, pick up his Blade of Druid King. As we see in this replay, Yo catching out SkyFL was also key. Here the exhaust and the burst damage on the Vladimir means that he can't put down his burst damage when the Herald fight was about to start, and EDG just ran down the members of FPX because they weren't able to throw down the damage that was expected of them from their competition.
0-7-11 is a little bit low, and they will take him down as well, but at the cost of Kong as well. Getting traded out. Flash for Flash alone, still gonna be in a good position to fight back with the auto attacks as well. BO7 is gonna be deleted here. EDG having a good position this time around, but seeing Don 1-8 Will force him a little bit back. Flash away by Youth. Create some distance here in space. Walk away. Top side being pushed though by Shelly. And Xiao Jiang as well. 2 towers taken in exchange for 2 kills. It's okay. Now, FPX has to answer back, but they have no answer so far.
Yeah, they don't have no answers. They tried to get a kill on the bot side of the map, but it was actually EDG Xiao Jiang deciding to go to the top side, taking the second turret down, and FPX did not respect that. If the Lucian did that back, it could have been an inhibitor turret immediately taken by EDG before the 9-minute mark. So EDG right now, it felt like FPX, right? We were talking about the Rip Herald fight and EDG just respecting FPX. It was actually EDG just thinking the next steps, just outthinking FPX at that point. They said, we're just going to buy our items, bide our time, and then fight you when you're down. And right now, this is a huge lead for EDG. Almost 8,000 to gold, 7-1 in kills. And with the composition of both teams have right now, it feels like EDG is on the driver's seat. It's their game to lose at this point.
It's a devastating start again by FPX. But it's very characteristic of EDG to make these scenarios happen as well against their opponent. And right now, things are looking so good for Edward Gaming. The scaling as well is slowly being unlocked on both the ADCs that they have. The Crown picked up, Manamin as well, slowly stacking up. Bloodthirster, Ford Zeri as well of Alone is going to be very helpful for T-Fires. And it has been very helpful already for the past few team fights that we have seen him involved. Was able to pre-hit, untapped as well, or untouched by the members of FPX. Langby still being very confident here again on his signature champion, the Alice Star, but this time FPX turning onto Alone.
No,
It's gonna be trapped, meter enchant as well, gonna be invested to try and take him down, and they're gonna be successful with it. But at the exchange of Kong again in the top lane, and EDG is not holding back, which is gonna be there from Langby. Xiao Jiang trying to climb, disengage. The re-engage should be there from EDG. But after seeing Camille, they are just gonna be disengaging. They have taken the Gragas down though. And again, just the damage! Oh man! Phosphorus Bomb timed perfectly there for SkyFL.
Yeah, SkyFL tried to get a bit more health back, getting that first ability off, but he couldn't. He got immediately bursted down. Dragon off screen was also taken by 0711. This Hecarim soloing the Dragon. It's going bad to worse right now for FPX. FPX trying to get as much gold as they can, trying to stem the bleeding, but it's just EDG taking this to a whole another level.
Yep, it's as if they've tapped into a different power source this time around. Maybe after receiving a learning lesson by the former champions, Keepest Gaming, this time they have improved again exponentially, and we're seeing a one-sided beatdown yet again, similar to game number 1, a 10,000 gold lead at 11 minutes.
Yeah, very early 10,000 gold lead for them as we head into this replay. It's a 2v3 from the support and Baron lane, and Xiao Jiang on this Renekton is just massive at this point in time. Already has the Blade of the Ruin King and Black Cleaver with him. He can just burst down any members in front of him, and as the fight went on, there was an exchange that FPX got, but SkyFL was the sacrificial lamb to let both Dawn 128 and Xingdao 7 go back to their base with their lives.
The life source though of FPX is slowly being chipped down. This game is going to be very difficult for them to come back from. Chow already took a lot of damage compared to Langby, especially because of the Unbreakable Will. Right now, 0711 does zone out the members here of FPX just with his mere presence. Actually, Langby doing a really good job already!
Whoa!
The knockout's gonna be perfect! And EDG's right now is just gonna be unstoppable in this onslaught. 128 is gonna be joining though with the Birth Ender. Langby going for the double knock-up! And SkyFell has to flash away alone, getting targeted here, but unable to be tapped by the members of FPX. And everyone is just dying on the side of this red side team. EDG getting 4 kills to none.
They don't need a Baron. Yeah, they can just end this. It's only SkyFL on the defense. It's still 5 members of EDG barreling down their base.
Yeah, they're just gonna take this inhibitor tower and go straight to the Baron to get this big purple worm.
Yeah, they're going for the safer play. They're not gonna go for a 50-50. They're rather to challenge SkyFL. Smarter choice, honestly, here for EDG. But let's go back to what EDG has done throughout this whole game. And even the series from yesterday, this is a very different EDG that we're seeing right now. A more aggressive, a more decisive EDG compared to their series against against KBG yesterday, but as we head into this game, this is a beautiful engage from both Langui and 0711. The wombo combo take down the members of FPX, and Yo just dealing out the damage while the carries of EDG going in one by one to contribute to this fight, while FPX was just kept running and retreating away from the onslaught that is EDG.
But it cannot run forever. You eventually have to face EDG here, or else you're just gonna be running away with the game as well. The isolation's gonna be there, forcing a flash here of Chow. Down 1-8.
Flashy.
The bottom lane. EDG slowly pushing all the outer turrets here, cleaning up the entire map. The base is the only one left here for FPX. 2 inhibitor towers, and EDG wants to unlock them as well. Knocking onto the base slowly but surely, with the Baron Powered minion slowly crashing onto the tower. The knockup is gonna be there. Headbutt pulverized, and Sky's gonna be the leading Kong as well, joining him in heaven. As right now EDG knocking onto the Nexus, slowly pushing the wave, and FPX has nowhere to defend, and EDG conquering them for the second time. This game number 2 has been a one-sided beatdown.
What a statement game here from Edward Gaming. They've been given blue side again. They played almost the same composition from yesterday from game 1, and they ended the game with more than 20,000 gold lead against FPX. We've had so much hope for FPX, have so much expectations for them because we've seen the couple of series they've had. They look so clean, they look so they look poised to be able to have a close match or even win against EDG, but now we're seeing EDG just evolving, learning from the mistakes of yesterday and putting the lessons here in today's games.
Yeah, lessons learned, and they're applying every lesson that they've had over the course of this playoff and over the course of the entire regular season as well. FPX this time are on the receiving end of a very harsh lesson here against Edward Gaming. They're really just struggling right now massively in both of the games that we have seen. Maybe red side is no longer an option here on FPX. Looking at the damage, dude, Crazy Apple, this is crazy. Langui dealt more damage than the entire members of FPX, or at least every single member of them.
Langui even dealt more damage than Xiao Zhang. You just saw how this Alistar is just in every fight. He was starting things out. He was there when Xiao Zhang dove the top side and defended the third. He was there on the pivotal fight in the tri-bush in the top side as well. Langui on the Alistar is just unstoppable, and EDG looks so good in this series. I can't say enough. I can't compliment it enough on how well they've been playing. But on the other hand, FPX has been left scratching their heads, honestly, in this game too. And EDG just took control so early on, and you wouldn't really expect that with the composition they had. They had both a Corgi and a Zeri, not notoriously strong in the early game, but it was really 0711 and Xiao Zhang on both the Renekton and the Hecarim who started the ball rolling for EDG, and they just didn't stop any time in that game.
I just have to say this right now. There are two champions that is so difficult when given to Langui. That's the Alistar, and that's the Nautilus as well. But this is going to be the struggle of FPX as Langui receives the MVP performance here that is well deserved.
Yeah.
Alistar and Nautilus being banned away is gonna cost FPX a lot as well if ever they do go on that route. But without it as well, if you give the Alistar to Langui, if you give the Nautilus, he is gonna be able to put them on a big hold. And this is a massive chokehold right now that EDG is giving towards FPX. Let's see what's gonna be the response here of FPX going towards game number 3. We'll just go in a short break, and Crazy Apple and I will be back.
Feel the thorns embrace. Death is in bloom. None will escape my grasp.
This will be quite the deadly spectacle. My home is in the cosmos, amongst my stars.
Zero start by EDG seems to be an unstoppable force coming towards FPX. Let's see if the walls are going to be built up this time around. Much better for FPX coming to game number 3. Let's see what's going to be the changes here. If FPX will finally decide to be on blue side. Okay. Final.
Yeah, finally. Step 1. Take EDG away from blue side for now. I'm not saying EDG has had the best performances on blue side as was indicative of yesterday's performances, but so far today, it seems like EDG has been unstoppable from the blue side position. So just taking that away is a good first step here for FPX. We'll also be checking on what will be the difference in terms of the picks and bans from them, because we do see Evelyn being banned on the red side, and Hecarim has been getting a lot of priority on the blue side. Although I'm very curious right now of the bans coming out from FPX. Jace is not something we have seen banned lately, especially in the playoffs.
Yeah, Jace, I think is just a respect here towards EDG, especially because 0711 and you can use that champion up. Looks like the Evelyn this time around is going to be opened up for a first time in a long time, to be honest. Yeah. And FPX, Shingdao7 is going to be very excited for this.
And definitely, he's going to be holding on to a champion that has real carry potential. When she gets into the later parts of the game, Evelyn can just delete any of the squishies, any of the carries coming in. So this is going to be a huge threat, and FPX does get to the point in the game. And so far for EDG, I think this is the first time I've seen them also picked up the Vladimir in a long time. So a good change of pace for the players of EDG. No longer will they be playing a double marksman composition.
Aatrox as well, still being picked up here for Dawn128. This might be his redemption story being written right now on the side of FPX as they attempt to go with their most successful side. Again, 9 wins on the total 11 games that they've had on the playoff stage. And right now, Kassadin as well gonna be the response here for SkyFL against you on the Vladimir.
A very heavy magic damage composition right now being brought here by FPX. Both the Evelyn and the Kassadin will have lots of damage, are also huge threats to back lines on the side of EDG. And if EDG does go through with the Hecarim, we're going to be seeing a lot of either support or marksman bans in the second round of bans here in the game 3 of this series. I do expect for FPX to take away some of the more mobile or safe marksman away, because if you do take that out, it's going to give Evelyn and Kassadin an easier time to find targets on the other end of the composition.
This might be an opportunity for FPX as well to ban both the Nautilus and the Alistar away from Langui. If ever they're really going to be focusing on the support here. Langui is so good as a support that, again, EDG has had so much success with him as a support, especially last season as well. Nautilus, that's one of the two. Will the Alistar be removed here as well? The question.
Yeah, we'll see if it's gonna be the Alistar. Actually, it's EDG who takes away the Alistar. Takes that off the table.
We'll do it for you.
We'll do it for you. Come on. We'll give you a gimme. I will give you a free one. Right now, if it's still gonna be the support bans here for FPX, I feel like Galio would be a good ban for them. Leona is the choice. Another language champion we have seen before to great success, and now with EDG, knowing that there's a big pinch in the support pool, they might just pick up a support for themselves. As I mentioned, Galio would be a good pick here. It allows a bit of safety in the mid parts of the fight. The taunt would also be a good way for them to deter both the Aatrox and the Evelynn. But as we were talking about as well earlier, safe AD carries, safe marksmans are what EDG are looking for, and the Ezreal is definitely one of them.
It's a good choice. It's a great choice coming in from Edward Gaming, because right now, yes, you're gonna be giving the Galio up, which is good here for FPX for team fighting. But EDG, Langui can still go with one of his pocket pick champions that he set as a counter engage here against FPX. Plus, securing the Ezreal is just so important, especially because of how effective this champion can be, not only in the laning phase, but especially during the team fights, with one true shot barrage landing onto multiple members of the enemy side team. Can be very useful as well. Plus, we have seen this situation already before as well. Without the severe, teams are still looking into the Sona with the Hecarim, and this is gonna be so exciting to see.
Yeah, we're gonna see the Sona in the middle of the team, giving out her auras, giving out her buffs to the whole team of EDG. The scary proposition here is Sona is squishy. As a champion, she will be vulnerable to both the Kassadin as well as the Evelynn. One small misstep from Langui here might cost his life, especially when you get into the later parts of this game. But Yang, we're looking at a very different composition for both of these teams, a very different game that we'll be seeing here. Will this be the game that turns it around for FPX? Will they be able to extend this series to at least a game 5, or EDG will able to get their match point to get closer to ending the series?
I think it's going to be tough here for FPX, but this is a good composition that they have built up. EDG did clutch out though in securing a great enchanter support on their side. The Sona shield can be very useful later on to counter the burst of the Evelynn, especially if the BO7 is going to be having a hard time closing the distance on the Sona itself. And EDG has a lot of front lines in their composition. Alone will never be alone here in the team fight.
Yeah, we kind of expect as well in the laning phase, an enchanter support is not necessarily the best support to be roaming around the map, because if you get caught out, you can just immediately get deleted by the other team. But right now, as things stands, we're actually looking at the jungle, where 0711 is actually stealing away the Raptor camp from FPX. This is a smart move right now, because as a Hecarim, we have good clear. I also love the observer work right there. Thank you for showing us that there was no vision, no information that EDG went for that steal.
I think it's going to be expected though as well here by both teams that that's going to be happening, because the Evelynn cannot really fight against the Hecarim, especially at pre-level 5. It's going to be a not the best choice for BO7 if ever. And SkyFL did check the Raptors already and does confirm the invade happening there from 0711. Langui going to be in a bad spot this time around. Exhaust coming through on both sides as well, as Alone does flash away. EDG forced out a little bit there, but still is quite healthy.
EDG was forcing the issue on FPX. They were so far ahead in the lane, they were able to shove it earlier, so they wanted to get one of the minions or one of the monsters. They were successful in stealing away or taking away one of the small Krugs away from BO7, so that further puts that Evelynn behind in the matchup against 0711. So expect 0711 to hit level 5 at least one camp or 1.5 camps earlier than the Evelynn, which might be pivotal if 0711 does go for an early gap on the side lane.
Yeah, it puts a little bit of a pressuring choice here for BO7. Either to share some XP here into the mid lane or bottom lane, or maybe in top lane as well, and that's not going to be helpful on the resource-heavy champions that they do have. Aatrox, Kassadin, and Xayah aren't really the champions that you would want to get XP away from as well. So I think it's just gonna be a patience play here for BO7, accepting that there is gonna be a delay on his level 5 and take his time on it as well.
Exactly, right? If you can't fight, just be patient. You'll get there eventually. Especially if you're just able to play the game by the book, to be able to get those experience points, to be able to get those gold, to be able to scale into the game. So it's really good to be on EDG. How they make use of that advantage, right? How do they make use of the small openings where the Hecarim might be ahead, the Hecarim will have a bit more experience, and we also saw actually FPX trying to help out BO7. Chao, we saw earlier, was walking in the river, walking ahead to defend the Scuttle Crab to enable this Evelyn to be able to get that. Right now, as things stand, EDG was not able to capitalize too much on the advantage they were able to get by stealing away the camps. But still, with the increased gold on Series 7-11, he might be able to use that to get a bit more better timings on his items to affect the map even more.
Yeah, FPX does have the composition built for late game scaling, even if BO7 is gonna be a little bit behind or won't be successful in any sort of ganks. EDG has to still be very careful for teamfights, especially as the game gets longer and longer. We have seen SkyFL be able to dominate already their games, especially during their match against Thundertop, in which he did receive 2 MVP performances as well on the Kassadin itself. Yeah. So let's see how confident FPX can be here in this game with this pick for SkyFL and how they're going to be able to execute this draft too.
Yeah. So far, early game has been going very evenly between the two teams. EDG opting for an earlier rotation in the mid lane. We usually see that being started on the 4-minute mark. Well, instead, on the 3-minute mark, they walked their bot lane to the mid lane, allowing the Vladimir to have an easier back timing. But looking at the map right now, the Vladimir is on the top side. EDG might be trying to put more members there, but no, actually, Renekton does go for the recall and is now matching up against a Kassadin. I think this is a good call for the side of EDG because Kassadin is notoriously better at dealing with magic damage champions, and putting the Kassadin in front of him, who deals predominantly mostly physical damage, will give this Kassadin a bit of a harder time in the matchup.
Yeah, just an adjustment being made for a more efficient output here. FPX, let's see. What's gonna be their choice? Either contesting EDG with a team fight setup. They do have the evidence to work around. That's a surprise here for the team fight against Edward Gaming. We see SkyFL still lingering in the top side. Scott Crab did get secured by EDG a while ago. So maybe an interest check will be there.
There's a lot of them here.
Xiao Jiang actually committing on the gank there towards BO7, ganking the jungle!
Oh!
The Hecarim is going to be able to pick up the kill this time around though. The Ezreal 1v1 against Gong. Xiao Jiang as well going to be picked up here. A trade for FPX's jungler isn't really the best so far for them to get leverage in an objective securing. But EDG committing onto it already.
Oh, they're committing again!
Going to be on the backside. Gong forced to use the Predator and the Flash as well just to be able to be safe during this team fight. Still, EDG committing onto the Referral just in front with the Flash as well. Can they actually get the steal? The asset is low. The Action does secure it. But Donovan to 8 committing onto the fight after they did secure the kill on to 0711. And FPX, losing the objective, are now transitioning onto the Dragon.
Yeah, FPX does have their jungler up right now, so they do have the smite advantage on this Dragon. Xiao Zhang uses Dominus earlier. I don't think he has, but they're trying to challenge this Dragon at the moment.
Yeah, Alone is going to be here. Langui as well, trying to get the sustain up here. Donovan to 8, a little bit low in terms of HP. BO7 as well being targeted. The steal is not going to come through. The Dragon still being taken here by FPX. Chao entering, trying to zone everyone away. Actually, everyone is trying to now be trapped here. It's actually just BO7 getting traded out here. Unfortunate for FPX, but they did get the work done.
Yeah, they did get the work done, but because of that prolonged fight, a lot of members of FPX are backing off. There's no wave clear in the mid lane. With the Herald here, it's only 200 HP left. Actually, they're just right in time to be able to defend this turret. EDG to put more members to secure the turret. It's only 200 HP left though, so it won't be up anytime. It could be taken down by EDG anytime they want to put more resources in the mid lane. But let's go back to everything that happened, because that was a very prolonged fight from both teams. Both teams wanting to challenge the Herald, and just a full commitment by EDG to take down the Evelyn. They were able to take her down, getting first blood. securing them the smite advantage on the Herald, and then they were able to secure the Herald with the smite, although their jungler did fall down. So FPX on the other side of the map had their jungler back up, and they were able to secure the dragon from there. In the end, though, holistically, it's slightly in favor for EDG because they're able to immediately make use of their Herald, putting it down in the mid lane and putting that turn to about 228 HP, meaning that if EDG wants to put more members there, they can take down that turret anytime.
Yeah, it is a little closer than it is initially as well, so very possible for EDG to actually take the tower down. FPX though doing a really good job defending it as well, especially with the wave clear potential of Isaiah. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit more challenging for EDG. Now it opens up more opportunities though for FPX to work around the map through the Evelyn pick that they do have. But fortunately for EDG, no setup yet being successful coming in from BO7. He's trying to though, trying to get a good angle towards you. I think the Vladimir is going to be the best option here to gank, especially if you do force out the blood pool, then you can still follow up with the last caress. IFL as well is in the vicinity, waiting patiently, trying to bait out any sort of defensive tool here on the Vladimir. It's taking a lot of time. They're being patient still. The commit is going to be there. Looks like bait is coming through. This time, the blood pool is going to be initiated. BO7 forcing the flash. Still alive, but that's a utility spell denied.
Yeah, but also you just really hesitating as well, not fully committing, not using the blood pool to try to get the slow and get that last hit on the Cassidy. Instead, he just really, he called the bluff essentially, and now actually EDG putting a lot of members here in the mid lane as we were talking about. They took down the turret there. First turret of the game going in favor of EDG, but going back into playing the bot side, I love how Yo just played around the possibility of having the Evelyn there. Now, actually, BO7 stayed a little bit longer in the bot side, even though that wasn't a botch gank. But maybe because the monsters in the jungle, the creeps in the jungle weren't back up on the map yet, so he didn't feel like he needed to go back and farm. So probably staying there for quite a bit. But that does give a bit of XP towards him and takes it away from the Cassidy.
And EDG as well, after spotting about here in the bottom lane, had more confidence to push mid lane. That is one of the reasons why they were able to open up as tier 1. Especially because there's still pressure coming in from the Evelyn. After them spotting him out in the bottom lane. Plus, since the gank wasn't successful, there's no value on that gank entirely. The summoner spell can still be recovered here after waiting for its cooldown to happen. FPX, again, the pressure is on. EDG has been playing this so cleanly so far.
Yeah, so far they've been doing very cleanly. BO7 actually really shadowing you right now. Always going wherever the Vladimir is, but we're nearing that part again, Liam. As we talked about the previous game, second dragons, second elemental drakes are what have been really tipping whoever will be getting a huge advantage in the mid game. And it's gonna be less than about 10 seconds for this infernal drake, and both of these teams have been playing it safe, making sure that they have a good opportunity to take down this dragon. You know, for that, Xiao Zhang getting jumped.
Damage! The Cassidy is gonna be taken down. You actually really good on that damage isolation as well. Xiao Zhang as well, just focusing all of his might onto SkyFL. This time though, Dancing Finale is gonna be invested. The heck of him actually is zoning everybody away.
Although he's down though.
Getting a little too far forward, and the Aatrox will pick up a kill. This time, FPX still zoned away from the objective. EDG will try to deny Soul Point from FPX. Can still be successful. I don't think there's any interest for BO7 to actually enter the pit, especially because of the sustain of the Sona. They will try though. Chao going in a little bit too late. BO7 as well, having to have this kind of health condition, isn't really in prime position to engage. The product is going to be coming through. Donovan is still continuing onto the fight. They now try to finally get the damage done, but the sustain from Langley is just too massive here, helping the rest of the team be in good health condition. And all of the damage just being negated from the Sona.
Yeah, the Langui is just giving so many buffs to his team, but SkyFL also showing a bit of the burst damage that's about to come from the Cassidy. Didn't convert to anything though in the end. As you mentioned, EDG was able to prevent Soul Point going towards in favor of FPX. EDG having the presence of mind to still take down the dragon even though they were smiteless. They knew that the Evelyn would take so much risk to try and take the Dragon away from EDG. So good call right there from the side of EDG. Now though, we're hitting the 12-minute mark. Baron is up, and FPX still has a lot of openings here. They still have a chance to scale into this game, to have this Kassadin come online and just wreck the members of EDG. But so far, EDG has been playing this game so well, choosing their battles wisely and taking only whatever they need to be able to push themselves forward and get a bit more experience.
Yeah, they're not risking anything. They're not going reckless. They're not doing anything that will cost them much in this game. They're able to deny the Dragon a while ago from FPX, and yeah, Language is doing a really good job as well on the zone. I think that we mentioned even earlier that the Nautilus and the Alistar was one of his most impactful champions. This time with the Sona, it is proving to be just more of his capabilities being shown on the side of EDG against FPX. Crucial Barrage coming through towards Sky. Still, it's gonna be fine here, but again, just EDG flexing their muscles basically here in this entire game.
Yeah, they're flexing their strength, but each time they have these like failed ganks, it's an opportunity that goes away from for EDG to be able to secure this game, to snowball it even further for them. And it's a bit of a win for FPX, but they have a Xayah, they have a Kassadin. These two champions scale really well in the late game, and Evelyn, when she gets her items in the late game as well, can just pop the Ezreal and the Sona. Gets in a position, Sky FL might get popped.
Yeah, Donovan is in the vicinity, but yeah, that is a thick wall to dash through.
Yeah, he just went away as well, but it's another one of those things, right, where EDG goes for an aggressive play and FPX is just able to bounce away from it, deter any further aggression from EDG. There's another ultimate that was burned. Actually, two ultimates for the side of EDG. Both the True Shock Barrage as well as the Dominus are now down for EDG. And unfortunately for EDG, they still are not able to put FPX in a compromising position to be able to take the win. And that's a win for FPX. We're still waiting on the next big fight, which could be the next Dragon. If both Dragon and Baron are up on the map, we usually see teams fighting on either the Baron or even a possible trade, mind you. So right now, if it's gonna be a trade, obviously Baron is the better choice. And if it's gonna be a trade as well, side lanes are gonna be big. And if the Kassadin is caught on the side lane, that's gonna be pretty bad for FPX.
So far, we do see Sky playing this safely, much more safely now actually, compared to a while ago. Because a while ago he was caught. Don, the 1-8 actually doing a really good job unlocking a tower in the bottom lane.
Whoa, starting
the Baron. Looks like the pressure is gonna be on once again. FPX has to decide, do they commit, do they try to infiltrate here? Looks like it's gonna be the former as Chow goes in. Featherstorm is gonna be forced here. Conspell is gonna be flashing away. The Red Sun timer down is gonna be a little bit low in terms of HP, but Con is still gonna be there. Wow. Still gonna be escaping here from the scene. But the Baron still is up. FPX successful in denying the take by Edward Gaming.
Yeah, EDG wanted to paint FPX in. It felt like it could have been a bad position for Kong because he was left only with his support, was about to fall down. But a great usage of that Featherstorm allowed him to gain distance, to get away, and for FPX to regroup against the EDG lineup, putting a lot of pressure on Xiao Zhang, which also prevented EDG from going in. That almost went badly for any of these teams. But also, do note what was used in that fight. No flash, no exhaust right now on the Xayah. She's very vulnerable when she uses her Featherstorm. As we get into this fight, we're gonna see here who gets that advantage, who has tracked the summoners of each member that was burned, because that could be crucial, especially if you don't have flash.
Yeah, crucial spot there as well by Xiao Zhang. It's gonna be fine. Featherstorm should be available this time around now though. For Kong, Dragon chipped away very fast. IFL having a backline access if ever here. Flank position, Shingo 7 as well, going towards the left side. Dragon's gonna be taken here by EDG as the dancing. Finale is gonna be used onto the shadow as well. As Kong just gonna be infiltrated here onto the backside. Yudo still able to flash away. Shingo 7 trying to track him down as they are just marching onto FPX. Yes, the trade is gonna be there, but still much better for Edward Gaming. And Shingo 7 as well gonna be slowed out by Stuart. Unable to escape. It's just gonna be a marching band here by Edward Gaming, especially with the DJ Sona as they go towards the Baron.
It's going to be the Baron here for EDG, and what a great series of events for EDG. We're just talking about what are the summoners that are down, what's crucial there in that fight, and we saw the Xayah getting caught out without both flash and exhaust. Shingdao 7 also burning her flash. So the Evelyn wasn't able to flash into the pit to try to go for a steal. SkyFL spotted early on as well by the Renekton, means that EDG had that confidence and information to figure out where these champions are so that they can secure the dragon as we head into the replay. We're starting off already with the dragon is down. Kong doesn't have flash and exhaust. The Xayah can't get distance away from the Vladimir. That's why he was taken down immediately, and SkyFL just left. Being late into the fight, essentially tried to go for a flank and he was trying to reposition, was caught out, not able to do anything. And BO7 just getting exhausted, and unfortunately for him, not having any way to get out of that fight.
Yeah, this one just provides so much movement speed, especially to a Hecarim. Yeah, this time, FPX though still going with the fight. Great use of the ult here of the zone to try and prevent them, and then they retaliate back. The re-engage is just massive on the side of Edward Gaming this time around. Couch is going to be disengaging, forcing the flash, and again the sustain is just massive from Edward Gaming. BO7 going in, getting killed there. At least a trade by FPX. With the Baron Card minions this time, they're going to be knocking onto the base here of FPX. Kong has to defend. BO7 going towards the mid inhibitor tower. The bottom lane inhibitor tower is going to be taken down the cell here by Edward Gaming. And FPX has nowhere to go. They have to defend. They have the wave clear though. Kong still though is taking too much damage. Forced to use the Feather Storm. It is not going to be helping out this time for the wave clear. And EDG, match point in the series. One more game and they're going to be doing what KBG did to them.
Yeah, it can possibly be a clean sweep here for EDG. We might just see 2 sweeps for the qualifiers into the finals. To remind everyone, what's at stake here for both EDG and FPX is the last spot into the finals of our WRLA Season 2. And yesterday it was a sweep. Right now EDG is doing the same to FPX, and that game 3 was the most competitive game of the series so far. FPX was really hanging on in there. EDG had moments where they weren't really sure if they needed to take the fight. But that last fight at the 3rd Drake was just a masterclass from EDG. He started off with the with the Baron aggression, burning key summoners, burning key ultimates away from FPX, knowing that the dragon was about to come up. That was such a great play for them, because if FPX didn't check them at the Baron, they would have gotten Baron. If FPX checked them, they could burn crucial ultimates and summoner spells. It was a win-win scenario for them, and you can just see here on full display the macro understanding of EDG in this series.
Even from the crafting phase itself, EDG actually had great maneuvers there. They opened up the Evelyn and the Hecarim. FPX took the bait on the Evelyn because 0711 is much more comfortable with the Hecarim as well. And what did they deny? Not only the Camille through the bans, but take note, BO7 was notorious as well from the past series they had against Thundertop and Trace Esports for his Lee Sin matchup against the Hecarim. And this time, it wasn't unlocked by FPX. It's because of the banning phase and the pick phase as well by EDG. The drafting is just so good.
They threw them such a huge bait, right? They left open the Evelyn. When do you see an Evelyn being left out? Almost never. And whenever we see it being open, it's always grabbed by the other team. And a lot of times we have seen how an Evelyn just deletes enemy backlines. But the thing is, you're able to delete the enemy when they're alone, when they're isolated, and in those team fights that we saw from EDG, they just were always this big threat, a ball of a threat with their Sona just clumping together and not allowing this Evelyn to have any safe avenues for assassination.
No assassination was successful, especially the ones necessary to take control of this game. 0711 had a better performance this time around. And yeah, the Hecarim this time is getting so many wins for EDG. And we can't help but feel just happy here for Edward Gaming.
Honestly, I can't help but feel happy, not only for EDG, but for 0711 after having such a rough game yesterday. But before we head into our last game, well, not really the last game, potentially the last game of this series, we will be having a short break in quite a bit here. We'll just have a short break. It has been me, Crazy Apple, with Giyang. We'll be right back.
This will be quite the deadly spectacle. My home is in the cosmos, amongst my stars.
Feel the thorns embrace. Death is in bloom. None will escape my grasp.
This will be quite the deadly spectacle. My home is in the cosmos, amongst my stars.
It's time to see if this is going to be the last game of the series, or will FPX be able to extend this series further than EDG is sprinting this right now. It's going to be a very important match for FPX in an attempt to push this towards a game number 7. That's the only way for them to win this, a game 7 series. They're retaining on blue side as well as the drafting phase is commencing.
Yeah, drafting phase, the bans has been done for the first round. We do see the Evelyn being banned here on the blue side for FPX. immediately. Hecarim being their priority pick here, taking it away in the hands of 0711. We were talking about as well off stream earlier if it is a possibility for Lee Sin, because that was a champion that we have seen Shingdao 7 doing well on, but seems like they are just taking away the Hecarim from 0711.
This time as well, they're going to be able to pressure EDG into maybe banning the Severe / the Sona as well, because they have the Hecarim and the Aatrox as well. Two very scary champions plus Vladimir. Oh man, this is again just team fighting based composition being unlocked by FPX. Very reminiscent of their previous series as well, when they were battling against Thundertalk. This is exactly the same 3-pick champions that they've had in their last match during that game number 5.
Yeah, but I do like the initial pick right here on the Gragas. One thing that we saw earlier, which allowed the Sona to just wreak havoc on the members of FPX and also buff up EDG, is that she was never isolated. They never had an opportunity to take her away from the EDG lineup, and having this Gragas will kind of deter FPX right now from picking up the Sona. They did ban the Sivir, so taking away one of the crucial champions that can strengthen the composition that FPX already has.
Let's see if the confidence is still gonna remain here on the side of FPX after seeing the Gragas and the Severe. Corki gonna be removed in attempt to kind of cripple down the Ezreal Corki combination that we do often see as an effective choice against this kind of scaling composition of FPX. Nautilus gonna be removed here by Chow, and that's again just early game being denied as well by EDG.
I could also say that taking away the Nautilus takes away an option for FPX to have a point-and-click hard CC on the Ezreal, allowing the Ezreal to be a bit more slippery because you need to hit him with skill shot, hard control abilities now. So I think that's a good option. Also, with them picking up the Zeri means that they are going back a 2 marksman composition, and again taking out that Nautilus is such a great thing if you're running 2 marksmen.
Yeah, Zeri can withstand the Vladimir in the early game as well, so they can put the Zeri on you and just put it into the mid lane, matching against SkyFL, Kai'Sa though, and a Rakan being hovered right now by FPX. This is again just very reminiscent of the last game they've had against Thundertalk, except for the Kai'Sa, of course. They did pick up the Lovers Duo in that game 5, and EDG 0711 maybe wants to give a hard-earned lesson here to Shingdao 7.
Yeah, he's showing up Shingdao 7. We were just thinking about, okay, Lee Sin was what Shingdao 7 was utilizing in their series against Thundertalk to really take control of the early game. 07 is like, nah, I'm gonna be the one who's using it in this deciding game. If EDG gets this, they will qualify for the finals. Well, if FPX, they need to win this game to possibly extend this series even further. Their only win condition right now is to take this series into a Game 7, to turn the EDG sprint into an FPX marathon. And we'll see if FPX will be able to hold on, because right now, where we're looking at with how dominant EDG has been the past 3 games, the momentum is definitely on the side of EDG.
Yeah, EDG looking so strong right now in this composition. They have great synergy as well with the Lee Sin, especially in the Baron lane, because Xiao Jiang has been proving constantly to be very effective on this Renekton for the past 3 games now. And having to get a Lee Sin as a co-engager as well will be very, very scary for FPX, especially that their whole draft is designed specifically just to scale up. In 15 minutes is going to be the name of the game here for Fun Plus Phoenix. Edward Gaming is going to be trying to prevent that from happening.
Yeah, and they do have stronger mid-game compared to FPX. They have the Lee Sin, they have the Renekton. 2 champs are really strong in the early game, but why I highlighted the mid-game is because of the Ezreal. If Ezreal is able to pick up both the Triforce and the Muramana at about the 10-minute mark, this would prove to be such a huge damage tool against the members of FPX. Well, on the other hand, for FPX, as you mentioned, scaling is the name of the game for them. The only champions that are trying to hold on in this early to mid game are both the Hecarim and the Aatrox. But quick trades here.
Alone, gonna be in a bad spot.
Oh no,
The flash is
he's down.
gonna be secured and kill here for Chow. And possibly a similar situation from game number 1. Supports getting a kill each. It's gonna be actually much better here for Langui in this situation. Because Chow is a little bit chipped down too low.
Yeah. So first blood goes to the side of FPX, but it was Rakan who was able to secure that. Unfortunately, it didn't go towards the Kaisa. But the trade in the end right there means that this lane is still gonna be in favor of EDG because the wave was shoved into the turret of FPX. Level 2 was hit earlier by Langui because EDG was able to shove it. So it feels like, at least for the bot lane, nothing really happened. It just slowed down the AD carries for what it was worth in the bot side.
Yeah, this is still okay for Kong. Despite dying a while ago, late game scaling still the name of the game here for Fun plus Phoenix. Alone as well, not getting a kill is a bit unfortunate because Chow did a really good job securing the kill a while ago onto him. Was a little too far forward as well. Was immediately punished. Chow Jan getting the damage done. Good ignite. And the barrier as the response by Dun 128. Plus the 100 will help him regain some of his health back as well. So we're still fine there.
So far in the whole series, we have seen Xiao Zhang just having dominance at the top side, always bullying his counterpart there, and that proves to be a huge point of pressure right now for the side of EDG. This allows the Scuttle Crab to be controlled by them, but a good buffer right there on the arcade ship.
And Langui taking more damage though. Great response coming in from Kong, especially with the use of the Void Seekers, maximizing the stacks to deal more damage onto the front line here of Edward Gaming. FPX so far untouched here. No ganks coming through from 0711. So we don't see any sort of plays happening around the map. Just laning phase being established by both of these teams. It's about to be changed though. Come 5 minutes, and EDG does pose more threat in the early game.
In the early game so far, 0711 has really been focusing the Scuttle Crabs. Both Scuttle Crabs have been secured by EDG. This gives them a bit more of that gold and experience advantage towards them compared to the Hecarim right now. And this has been enabled by the strong plays from the bot side of the map from EDG, as well as a strong plays from Zhao Zhang, allowing Yo to step into whichever lane or whichever side of the map he needs to go to be able to help out and secure the Scuttle Crab. And now, because of that advantage, this is allowing this Lee Sin to scale further into the game.
Whoa,
Xiao Zhang though going in.
Yeah, the confidence and the movement speed boost as well. Very Scuttle Crab. This time he's going to be punished because he doesn't have any escape tool anymore except the flash, which he will use. But again, that was a little too cheeky for him. Cat's going to be used up in the
Kong though.
Kong using Killer Instinct just to escape, create some distance, but no distance is safe anymore. Still going to be picked up here.
Yeah, great catch from Langui, honestly. A bit of an overstep coming in from the Kaisa. The great position as well with the ultimate coming from this Gragas allowed the Ezreal to cut the distance even faster. You can notice they're alone, not really having enough mana in this fight, but the damage from the Ezreal is just enough to secure the kill on the Kaisa, giving another advantage here in the bot side with the map for EDG.
Yeah, it was unfortunately for Kong, he wasn't able to use the Killer Instinct in time to dodge the explosive cask of Langui, and his position definitely was compromised in that bottom lane fight.
Yeah, and now, you were mentioning earlier, right, as we get to the 5-minute mark, we have been seeing explosive fights between these two teams here, but also seeing handshakes. But with the state of the game right now, EDG does have a firm grasp on the early game. There, the Renekton, yes, we saw earlier he burnt his flash, but he's still strong. He's feeling very confident, but he's getting ganked right now. Doesn't seem like it will turn into anything unless 0711 goes to the top side.
Yeah, despite the presence of Shingo 7, Xiao Zhang still continues on the fight this time. 0711 is going to be joining him. Sonic Stick did connect as well as the Dragon's Rage. No kills. Still being committed here by EDG. Don 128 was able to heal himself back up as well. The World Ender has been used already. This can provide EDG a much safer start with the Rift Herald.
Yeah, Rift Herald being started, but actually Xiao Zhang's the one getting jumped here.
Dominance going to be used as a response, and FPX has to disengage. Look at that damage coming in from Xiao Zhang. It's just massive right now. And I don't think FPX can now fight this Rift Herald, but still, they are lingering in the area. Single 7
They're trying.
Isolated with explosive charge. Also, the charge is going to be used as a response, but still, I think FPX has to disengage. EDG will just take this.
Yeah, EDG takes it. a bit of an anti-synergy as well. Alone throwing out the True Shot Barrage as soon as the Explosive Cast also hits. But mid lane though, because of the chip damage coming from Yoz, Zeri able to put him down at below 2000 HP. Gives the first hurt immediately towards EDG. And they're also transitioning it now to a Dragon. This is going from bad to worse right now in terms of the early game for FPX.
Yeah, classic EDG. After denying a fight from FPX, chipping down their HP as well, forcing them to use their ults, EDG gets a double objective start at the 6th minute mark. And 3,000 gold lead as well, especially because the tower secured in the mid lane is again just classic EDG.
Yeah, classic EDG. We highlighted earlier that should be the mid game where EDG really takes their stride, but in terms of the early game, Renekton and Lee Sin are so strong compared to the lineup right now that FPX has that EDG has really just been relying on both of these champions. You saw that they started it off with fight at the top side. Langui though trying to go for the gank here in top side. Okay, doesn't seem like it will go too much. So going back to my point right there, EDG leveraging on the strengths of their composition right now, the Lee Sin and the Renekton as the linchpin to start off these fights. And the win on the bot side by both Alone and Langui when they caught out the Kai'Sa was just a cherry on top, allowing them now to have full control over this early game.
Yeah, early game definitely is much better right now for Edward Gaming. That's gonna be forced there by onto you. Wow, the damage, and it's just early game, and FPX is again behind, but we see the potential of Sky here right now being demonstrated in the bottom lane. At least his skill potential. The rest of EDG going towards the bottom lane. Langui being the first one to check the entire area. Such confidence right now is gonna be exploited here by FPX. Langui still survived for so long before he gets taken down. Skyfell gonna be the bad spot for the Blipple. EDG though still continuing onto the fight. Black's gonna be invested here by Alone. Unable to get a mystic shot though. They should get this tower down.
Yeah, the immediate response from Langui as well when he got caught out by 4 members going away, but Xiao Zhang
towards Ender as a response. Yu's gonna be here though, and again the punish should be there!
Oh!
As a response!
He had another one!
Is gonna be helping Don 128. Xiao Dang though still is alive. Will not pursue anymore the outplay by Don 128 in the top lane.
Just Aatrox things, man. When you see an Aatrox pop his world ender, you better respect the Aatrox, and there's a bit of a miscalculation at the side of EDG right there. They thought they could burst down the Aatrox at that low of an HP, but with a sliver of health, he was able to outplay them, get the knockups, get the damage from the turret. That's a small win right now for FPX on the top side of the map, but overall it's still almost a 5k gold lead for EDG. As we head into this replay right here, it felt like Xiao Zhang was trying to go for a trade to wait for Yo to get to the top side, but Don 128 man with the flash Q3 just hits him there, takes down the Zeri. The burst damage coming from the Aatrox was insane.
Insane. And then, again, I'm gonna say this for the second time as well. Still just the early game, but we're starting to see the potential here of FPX. To see though, Edward Gaming still continuing on the fight. Great isolation there with explosive cast. Xiao Jiang though might be in a bad spot. Forced to flash away. Langui as well, just stacking so much damage. Great disengage though by the kick of 0711. And Xiao Jiang is gonna be able to reposition this time around. 0711 taking a bit of damage. Forced to be pulled here. And now the damage by Sky will finish him off. Tower plus kills. EDG not successful with the defense this time.
Yeah, but they were able to trade the topside turret as well. So in terms of the macro play, EDG was able to even up the tower count, but kills did go in favor of FPX there. And those are some of the things that FPX needs, even by just a bit. Some more gold going into their members. They see Sky FL right now in terms of overall gold ranking is third, only behind 0711 and Alone. He's trying his best to scale up into this game. This Vladimir already having at least an item and on his way to a death cap is able to just go into these fights and burst down the 2 AD carries coming from EDG. That could be a win fight right there from FPX, but we've also seen how well EDG plays these fights.
Yep. EDG still with the lead, trying to control FPX. But so far, they have been resisting quite well, despite the disaster start. We're seeing them actually taking control of the fight. Sonic Wave, the Resurrection Strike kick as well gonna be there. Donald is still able to resist though, still able to stay alive. Right now, the Rakan is gonna be traded out, and EDG found an opportunity, and they take it without hesitation.
Yeah, and Alone coming in there with massive damage on the Ezreal, but Shingdown 7, okay, he almost got caught out right there, but used the Onslaught of Shadows to get away. EDG overextending themselves. They thought they found a good fight, they thought they found a good pick-off, but instead got picked off themselves.
Guys, still gonna be fine though against two people. Is that Parad? Coming through. The Dragon gonna be taken here. Soul point for EDG can be huge here.
Yeah, definitely can be huge. Don 128 spots out 0711 though, but it seems like this red buff is still being contested.
Yeah, actually there. Objective, new objective is just a red buff. Again, we have seen this so many times.
Yeah, it's that thing. If you're ahead and you just really want to force the opponent to back down, you gotta take everything away from them, and that's what they did. As we had this replay right here, a bit of an overextension from Don 128 puts the composition of each team in a messy spot, and Chao was unfortunately the one who got caught out in the end right there by EDG. Do mind you, that fight happened at around the 10-20 minute mark, and Alone's Ezreal was online, had Pokemon Ramana and Triforce. The amount of burst damage on this Ezreal right now is gonna be massive against FPX.
Let's see though if FPX can still fight back. The gold increase by EDG is not really at the best rate. At most, it is just maintaining at 5,000 towards now 6,000. FPX does possess still a better late game scaling composition in terms of burst that even the double ADC can be very scared of in the late game. We mentioned 15 minutes. 3 minutes remaining here for FPX to at least be theoretically online. And EDG right now has to really step up. They should be able to take this Baron. They should be able to take the Soul as well.
Yeah, EDG. Yeah, we were talking about how 15 minutes is a crucial point there for FPX to be able to get into this game, to have a better showing in terms of the damage and eyes that they have. Chao being a bit sneaky right there, trying to go for exile right here.
Yeah, Dominance gonna be used. Chao as well, a little bit too far forward. EDG will fight if they overstep their boundaries. And they walk away for now.
A bit too early on the engage right there. Xiao Zhang was able to react immediately and just slice and dice away from the onslaught of Shadows with BO7. Going back 15-minute mark is really what we're looking at of FPX. But the thing is, EDG has snowballed themselves into a dominant position here. Whoa! Fancy feet right there.
Yeah. Just exiting with style. 0711 kicks, gets the engage as well, and safeguard to it.
I can't imagine how fast his thumbs went in that execution right there. But it just shows 0711 right now feeling himself in this series. What a redemption series from this guy as well. Yesterday, he was just being bullied by the taunt, but here we see a huge turnaround in both the mindset, aggressiveness, as well as being able to secure the objectives from EDG. 0711 has really redeemed himself compared to the series from yesterday, and that is what is propelling EDG into this lead.
Yeah, they're taking resources away from Shingdao 7 as well. And EDG continues to apply the pressure. This is a great performance so far by Edward Gaming. Titan Gods, or the God Slayers themselves, are just proving that they are the ones deserving to be in the finals spot. Right now, FPX has to really step up. It has been 3 consecutive games that they have been struggling massively. Every single game has been a one-sided beatdown, despite being the closest game we have seen so far, in which EDG is not handling them in a one-sided beatdown.
Yeah.
FPX checking the area if to get any information yet.
This feels like deja vu from Game 3. EDG just holding down FPX. If they start the Baron before the 1 minute mark on this Dragon, this is going to be really the same setup that they did from the previous game.
Langi, body slam. The Grand Ender is going to be used. Dominus as well. And the Isolation going to be pure with a kick as well by 0711, forcing Pontos Phoenix to actually walk away. They have to disengage. Nobody died. EDG, ooh, that was so close. The true shot barrage unable to get them in time. The Baron should be taken here by EDG. They can no longer contest Shingdao 7 though. Checking the area. I think he just took the blue buff and will give this Baron away.
Yeah, Baron does go to the side of EDG. And we're just talking about how this could be the same setup from EDG at about the 13-14 minute mark, positioning themselves in the Baron, threatening it, forcing FPX to the fight. And that went horribly for FPX. Baron right now secured here by EDG. Dragon is up. Dragon Soul on the table for EDG.
Look at the macro as well. Yu is actually split pushing into the mid lane, knowing that EDG has better position here into the Dragon Pit as well. They know that FPX is going to be forced to commit here. The true shot barrage is going to be very
Starting off,
devastating.
BO7.
Being pushed as well. EDG continuing onto the fight as the Zeri is split pushing into the mid lane. FPX has to disengage, but they're being penetrated this time. But the rest of Edward Gaming is everything being won by EDG. Chao still goes in with Grand Challenge, or at least the engage, but it's being denied everything. 4 versus 5, Edward Gaming wins, and you will just end this game. And we will see Gods transcended again to qualify for the final stage. EDG hands FPX a one-sided beatdown in a 4-0.
EDG gets our last slot into the WRLA Season 2 Finals. And what a statement game right here. What a statement series coming in from Edward Gaming. After the disappointing loss yesterday to Keep Best Gaming, they have proven themselves here as to why they are one of the top dogs. Also incurring a 4-0 series loss against FPX, who was looking to be another God Slayers in themselves. We talked about during the pregame that they took down both Thunder Talk and Trace Esports, similar to what EDG did in the regular seasons, and it felt like they had EDG in their sights to claim the title of God Slayers, to formally take that upon themselves. But EDG here in the series says, no, we are the true God Slayers. We will have our revenge in the finals as they qualify for that very position.
Yeah, this is the best way that Edward Gaming can redeem themselves after receiving a 0-4 score in their previous series. Now they win a 4-0 against their opponent and qualify towards the final stage here in Wild Rift League Asia Season 2. We see the damage up alone, and it is massive, and we have seen it as well through the true shot barrages and the mystic shot he has used perfectly to FPX.
Yeah, Alone has just done such a great job as well, but I have all of my attention right now as well on both Xiao Zhang and 0711. These two have been doing the work, have been putting in the work for EDG at the top side of the map. Xiao Zhang just bullying his way in almost every matchup against Dawn 1-8, and whenever has the chance, he dashes into a Vladimir and just tries to burst him down. The burst by Blade of the Ruin King is such a huge damage spike for a Renekton, and it gives you a lot of procs on the passive, the current health magic damage passive that's just so strong on the champion. And yeah, I mean, at the end, it's just EDG showing up here, showing us why they are one of the teams that we should be looking forward to take it all in the finals.
Alone getting the MVP is absolutely well deserved after serving FPX lots of damage from his Ezreal. This is one of the reasons why Ezreal is one of the favorite picks here in Wild Rift League Asia. KBG did use this consecutively during their last series. EDG as well has had the best opportunity to pick this champion up, and is just now going to be qualified for the finals as well after winning against FPX. And yeah, it's a little bit sad for FPX to lose right now here and will be dropped out of the tournament as well. But it has been an amazing journey for them. This is again their first time to qualify to the playoff. Last season, they were eliminated from the group stages by 1 point. A 1 point behind Trace Esports. But right now, they have had not only qualified, but they came very close to being on the final stage.
Yeah, definitely. What a Cinderella run for FPX. It could have been more. Could have been the complete Cinderella run for them heading into our finals. But alas, it was EDG that cut them off at the run. Looking at our brackets for playoffs, as we were mentioning, it's both Keep Best Gaming and EDG that have qualified here for the CN conference, and it really was such a competitive series of matches for most of these teams. But both KBG and EDG, I'm looking at them right now because these two have shown themselves to be the strongest in the CN conference region.
Yeah, and we have our finalists already officially concluded. On CN Conference side, we have Keep Best Gaming and Edward Gaming. On the APAC side, we have Katie Rolster Y and G2 Blacklist.
Yeah, congratulations to all of these teams to be fighting out in the finals. They will be fighting for that last prestigious award, which will be the champion of the WRLA Season 2. And I can't be more excited for all of these teams, because for Keep, there's so many stories for Keepes and EDG. There's so many stories as well for both KT Roaster Y and G2 Blacklist.
Look at the prize that they are earning right now, especially because of their amazing performance. And again, it's not just about the prize pool, it's about them lifting up their region, lifting up their name. Keepes Gaming, Edward Gaming, G2 Blacklist, and KT Roaster Y being the top 4 of the entire tournament.
Yeah. For APAC, right? We've seen both G2 Blacklist and Naos being at like the top 1, top 2 spot for the longest time, but KT Roaster Y having that later run, being able to get the top spot and eventually taking that top spot in APAC for them as well. Such a great run from this team. There are a lot of questions that we've had, but in the end they were able to take that top spot, and I'm just so excited as well to see how KT Roaster Y and G2 Blacklist will be matching up against Keepes Gaming and Edward Gaming.
Oh yeah, everything is gonna be determined on February 1. We're gonna be showing the schedule as well in a short while, but they take a last look of what value they have brought not only in their team but into their region as well. These teams will still fight after a week of a break or 2 weeks of a break, and will be determining who is going to be in the best possible placements as well for our final stage. It is an interesting way to start the final stage. It is going to be a round robin first, in which every team has to face each other as well, and then a placement on the semifinals and quarterfinals, semifinals, and grand finals will be determined.
Yeah, definitely. It's something exciting to see. We won't be showing this schedule just yet, but please do keep tune in to our socials to be updated on the upcoming schedule, especially for the round robin that Ian did mention.
Yeah, see you again on February 1. We will post our announcements as well on our social media. It has been an amazing day for EDG and the rest of the squad as well here in Wild Rift League Asia. It's a pleasure shoutcasting alongside with you, Crazy Apple. It has been an amazing day for everyone as well that is supporting Wild Rift. See you again on February 1, and yeah, see you again.